My wife watched a little bit of the red carpet, but they got a 4% increase over last year. They pulled in 19.5 million viewers.
Wow.
19.5 million fools that were going to be taught how to think. And you know, I'm trying to understand, and somebody can help me. Trying to understand, because I saw David Draymond. He is the singer for the band Disturbed, and he was angry with a couple people that had the red hand thing on their lapel. Have you seen those?
No.
It's something to do with supporting Hamas, basically.
Oh.
And David Draymond obviously is a Jewish man, and he was livid. That's what got my attention to it. I had no idea what was going on, but sure enough, it was basically the Hollywood types, of course, lefty loonies supporting Hamas, and he was having none of it. And so, so there's 20 million people in America that were dumb enough to watch the Academy Awards, y'all. 20 million people.
And then I had 3 men of Jewish religion stand up there and tell me that I'm supposed to feel the same way they do as people sit there with red hands, lapel pins on there, supporting a terrorist organization that killed Jewish women, let's say killed and raped Jewish women and children and even some men. So, yeah, the whole thing falls flat to me to have, them sit and virtue signal and have, 3 people of Jewish descent go up there and be like, well, we as Jews, we want a ceasefire. No, you don't speak for all of us anymore. I mean, none of you speak for all of us, and I'm so sick and tired of it.
But isn't there something fun about being able to turn on your TV and watch this alternative reality, this insanity for a little while and say, let's see what these people care about, and you realize that largely when it comes to actors and actresses, many are uneducated. Many have not been exposed to any part of the real world. Many of them have never been around the real world. And so when they start espousing their views, you go, that's crazy.
Man, y'all
that's insanity.
Are nuts. How can you possibly be this crazy? And then I read this open letter from... And it was shared by Maria Medvin, and she works for Politico, but they call her a conservative firebrand. I guess she's the conservative at Politico. She's got to be the only one. But this is a open letter from a 94-year-old and the only member of 105 souls in her family or his family to survive the Holocaust, and it's a whole open letter. And I read the entire thing, and it gives you cold chills.
Yeah.
It makes you shudder. And then when you think about what Los just said, these complete buffoons that have no idea what's going on and no idea history, they don't know current day what's going on, and they have no idea what to hope for in the future because they're wrong about it all. And this letter, man, this morning absolutely gave me cold chills.
Really?
It's chill. I'll send it I'll tag you in it because it is unreal to talk about, because this person tuned into the Oscars and saw this and was so offended and moved with real reason that they felt inclined to pen an open letter and share it across social media. It's remarkable.
Wow.
It is unbelievable.
They'll probably be attacked for that.
I would imagine.
They'll probably be called Zionists or some kind of anti-Semitic attack against them, because that's what tends to follow that.
Yeah, no question. So anyway, that is the now you know why I'm kind of sideways this morning. It's usually Tuesday sucks, but I read, that's the first thing I read as soon as I opened up Twitter. That's the first thing I read, and I couldn't believe my eyes again. And I feel like Los, that I say that all the time. I can't believe my eyes. Can't believe what I'm saying. Can't believe what I'm saying. Can't believe what I'm hearing. And sure enough, I should never say that again, because none of the ignorance should surprise me at this point.
There was only one thing I really took away from the Oscars that I enjoyed. I enjoyed watching Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito confront the Batman and Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my little snippet, and the rest of it I threw away.
Yeah, because there was nothing worth having.
Well, there's nothing there talking to me.
Exactly right.
There's nothing there to entertain me, and most of the time I've watched 10% of the movies, and I'll get around to watching some of them, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's for the Hausfrau with her Bluebell and her tissues. All right? Fraulein gets to watch that with the Bluebell and the tissues.
And Joe Virgin.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Tug really liked the part of John Cena being naked.
Yeah, I didn't
listen,
I didn't see it, so I just heard about it. I don't know.
He's a wiener away from being a house frat.
Yeah.
That's where Joe is.
That's right. We like you anyway. So, is it worth? Do we need to? And maybe I'm an idiot for asking this question, but is there even a need to go vote in today's primary? I mean, obviously to be a part of the process, I get it, but I mean, the decision's made. I mean, the decision's made.
Well, I mean, you still have to get the rest of those votes. He needs 140 delegates to continue on or to clinch the primary for the GOP. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's important. You got 4 contests today with Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington State along with us. We've got 59 delegates. That would be nice. He needs 140. There are 161 out there today. So, yeah, I mean, let's finish this thing off. Let's stop the rhetoric. Let's put Nikki Haley to bed. Let her just, quiet down somewhere because
Drift
she's
away.
still around. Yeah.
Like Dobie Graves sing about.
But I think, we are an open primary. So let's see how many Democrats go and vote for Nikki Haley today. Let's see, because what you're going to see today is there's a lot that say they won't vote for Biden based on the fact that he's not supporting a terrorist organization. So a lot of them are either going to sit out or pull a Republican ballot today and vote for Nikki Haley or someone else down that list rather than Donald Trump. But I think it gives us a good idea here in the state of Georgia how many people will come out to vote, because Democrats, they're not asking for ballots and they're not showing up. Republicans are.
Well, do 2 things. One, do your virtue signaling the way they do. Wear your little sticker. I voted today. I want to let you know how things are going. This is what we got going on over here. What the Democrats fear is the energy that is going on for one candidacy versus another.
Yeah.
And if you just want to drive it home to show these people that without drop boxes, without some of their shenanigans, they don't have a shot. Okay? This is another way to do it. Now, it's going to take you 5 minutes to go get it done, to go
That's
stop
right,
at your polling place.
Because I don't expect a lot of people showing up, y'all.
No.
I really don't. I mean, I plan to. As soon as I get out of here, going to go straight and get it done. But I just don't expect there to be just this swath of people. So, Lowe's, you're exactly right, dude. It'll be walk in, hit
Walk
your
in,
button,
get it done,
walk
get out.
It's exactly. Take you 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter in the general scheme of things. I think Donald Trump's got this nailed down. I think the most important thing you can get out of today is I think it's more important for Biden to see what he loses. This is a state he wants to see how many black men and women come out and vote for him today. He wants to see if the minorities are coming out. He wants to see how a blue city, and there's more than just one blue city here in the state of Georgia that kind of decided 2020. Are those numbers as strong? Because as of right now, from the amount of people who went to ask for absentee ballots, for the amount of people who have shown up already, it's a lot lower than it was in 2020, and it's got to be a concern for him. I don't think Donald Trump cares either way. I think he's going to run away with today, and I think that today it ends for the both presidents. I think it's a done deal, and we go ahead and move on. But I think it's more important for Biden.
Freak them out. You're talking about the 2016 Georgia primary where Donald Trump got 38% of the vote, basically 501,000. All right, double the number. Freak them out. Make them go, oh my God, like this is what we're dealing with. And look how many of them are all on board with this. Largely what you have going on within the Communist Party are protest votes. You have them basically saying, I don't want to vote for Joe Biden. I don't like this economy. I don't like what's going on. I don't like your policies, foreign and domestic. So I'm going to vote for somebody else, or I'm leaving them off a ballot, or uncontested, whatever they want to go ahead and write on in there. This is largely to show solidarity behind one and watch them continue to have their issues going on the other side.
I love it, man. It makes me chuckle to see them squirm and to see them nervous. And I don't think we have that on the conservative side, the Republican side, if you will. But, we'll see how it shakes out. Falcons got a new quarterback. It's funny about Kirk Cousins because our former coworker, Hudson Mason, who's gone to work for Chick-fil-A.
He went back to God.
Yeah, he did. And he was kind of buds with Kirk Cousins when Hudson was in camp with him.
In Washington.
In Washington, yeah, that's right. And he would tell me, he was like, you don't realize how frugal this man is. He had signed this huge deal, and he drove this old beater van that looked like a construction site van. Wasn't anything nice. And he had signed this huge contract, and his wife, who's from Alpharetta, her name is Julie, she was living in her mom and daddy's basement. Kirk Kirk Cousins signed like a $50 million deal or $60 million deal. This woman living in a basement somewhere.
So his total contracts before yesterday totaled $236 million. And this is a guy who had to do it the hard way. He was a 4th-round pick and had to get franchised twice. That basically means we don't want to pay you, but finally we'll just give you a contract so you'll shut up, and then we'll go revisit it the next year. Now he gets another $100 million guaranteed at the end of the contract, at the end of this stuff. And I will tell you the one story I have on him. We got off the plane in Orlando last year to go to one of our nationals, and sitting right behind us was Kirk Cousins and his wife and their kids, not in first class, just regular coach, and they were going to Disney World. Okay, so it's like, and by the way, he's in the same Uber line we're in. There wasn't a car waiting for him.
Did
there wasn't any
people
of that stuff.
recognize him at all?
I did only because I'd seen him before, you know, and I was like,
most.
Sure.
No, because he's very just he's unassuming.
Yeah.
He's just like, if you saw him, the only thing that makes him stick out is you say, hey, that guy's like 6'3", right? He's taller and in shape, and you're like, that's Kirk Cousins. You know, regular dude, totally frugal.
It's like the Falcons have brought Matt Ryan 2.0.
Right.
As far as personality, like demeanor, you know what I mean?
The only difference is the age. They're bringing him in at the same age that they got rid of Matt Ryan. But otherwise,
Ryan was 36. He's coming in at 35.
Yeah. But you see what I mean, though? They're kind of the same type of dude.
Sure.
That's as soon as I saw that news had broke, that's the first thing I thought of. Was like, we're getting Matt Ryan back.
I love the way he throws a football. But as a Jets fan, the Falcons and the Jets, for those are the two teams I root for, and boy, are they they're just like parallel. This man is not going to be able to get into training camp till August, and that's because he tore his Achilles. So now what are we going to do? Like that's a concern to me, bringing it. Look, I think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. I hope that he's healthy. I hope that he leads this team. But boy, am I not. I am pessimistic about this one right now.
It's a Tuesday decision.
Ooh, yeah.
The Jets had last year, because we were all locked in. We talked about, hey, Jets game tonight. We're going to watch. It's Aaron Rodgers. They had 4 minutes of relevance. And then we all showed up, and Rhino was like, dude, it lasted like 2 plays. But the idea was the Jets had been so mediocre, so average at quarterback, that bringing in somebody like this potentially elevates you. The Falcons have been so bad at quarterback that just having a guy who, to me, maybe the 10th, 11th, 12th best quarterback in the league, how much better it is than having the 50th best quarterback in the league. It represents a level of, at least you on Sunday can say this guy can operate an NFL offense, and that's not everybody in the world.
No, just stay healthy. Please stay healthy.
Yeah, stay healthy.
Like, please.
We got to get healthy, right, first?
Yeah, I mean,
he's moving around.
They said by August he'll be ready for the start of training camp. He'll be ready to go. So that's optimistic, and I doubt that. I mean, the odds of it happening again, I don't know the odds, but I'd assume they're a little.
Seems like they're elevated.
Low. Yeah, I mean.
It's typically the other Achilles. That's all. It's never the same one.
You balance out.
Well, we got a weird scenario when it was Mike Soroka around here, where he tore it, and then a year later he tore the same one.
Oh my God,
that was strange. Typically, when it comes to an athlete, they'll tear one, and then they have to do so much work to strengthen the other, because that's typically the next one that goes.
Whew.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Tuesday, March 12th. Former President Donald Trump needs 140 delegates to secure the GOP's nomination for president. Georgia carries 59 delegates that will be decided today in the state's primary election. Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington State will also hold primary contests. Biden, who is on the Democratic ballot today, needs 102 delegates to secure the Democrats' nomination. There are 108 Democratic delegates up for grabs in the Peach State. Georgia voting locations will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Gwinnett County Police identified 4-year-old Abigail Hernandez as the young girl who was killed in the Mall of Georgia parking lot this past weekend. The 4-year-old was leaving Dick's Sporting Goods with her father and 7-year-old sister when an 18-year-old driver hit the family in the parking lot. Abigail was rushed to Scottish Rite Hospital, where she died from her injuries. Abby's dad and sister also suffered minor injuries in the accident. And in sports, as we just discussed, the Atlanta Falcons have made a decision on their starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins. A top free agent signed a 4-year 4-year deal with the Falcons. The veteran quarterback signed a deal worth $180 million with $100 million guaranteed. Cousins ruptured his Achilles in October, and after 9 months of rehabilitation, he should be ready for the start of training camp in August.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. When we come back, a warrior against woke joins us next, and her name is Riley Gaines. This is Extra 106.3.
You want to be ahead of it? You want to be at the water cooler? You want to have the information first? Well, tune in because Tug, Rhino, Carlos, we're going to have it for you.
Only place you'll get it, and the place you'll get it first.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Ooh, I know these beautiful days are getting you to thinking about all the stuff that you want to do to your castle, all the stuff you want to do to your home to make it as perfect as in your head it is. Because when I look at our house, I think it's amazing. I love our home. It's too big for us, but I love it. And I can't afford to do anything else. So now is the time to make it exquisite. I want to make it the perfect place. When my wife pulls up, she's like, I can't wait to get inside our home. And how do you do that? You call Southern Exteriors, because now that we're headed towards spring and you see those windows that probably have a little bit of rot around them, this is the way to get them fixed. They can do it, and they won't make you wait. That's the beauty of it. They do windows. They do roofing. They do siding. They do gutters. They do it all. Anything to the exterior of your home, they can make it happen right away. No endless waiting periods. It's not like the other day when I told you I called the plumber, and they told me I was going to have to wait 3 weeks. The toilet's leaking, and I gotta wait 3 weeks? No, thank you. That's not going to work. At Southern Exteriors, they're not going to make you wait to get that leaky roof fixed. They're going to get somebody out there right away because they have the manpower and they have the material to get it done. They don't have to wait. They don't have to order it. They can get you squared away right away. So call them today at 877-9-SOUTHERN, 877-9-SOUTHERN, or visit them on the web at southernexteriors.co, not .com, but southernexteriors.co.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's promo code GIFT.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. We handle bonds throughout Metro Atlanta, including from our newest offices in Cherokee County and Clayton County. In most cases, we can have you or your loved one out of jail in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 770-627-3235 or online at atlbail.com.
Don't miss the Atlanta Mushroom Festival, Sunday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day at Park Tavern in Piedmont Park. Beginning at 12 p.m. and ending at 7 p.m., this dog and family-friendly event features educational speakers, live music, and over 35 mushroom-themed vendors. Tickets are free with email registration or $10 for Comfort VIP, which directly supports the nonprofit festival. For more information, visit AtlantaMushroomFestival.com or Atlanta Mushroom Festival on all social platforms.
The 2024 season is just around the corner, and the Braves' home schedule is jam-packed with great matchups and even better promotions. The Braves open at home against the defending NLCS champion Arizona Diamondbacks April 5th through the 7th, followed by the New York Mets April 8th through the 11th. And on April 8th, the Braves will honor the 50th anniversary of Hank Aaron's record-breaking 715th home run with a special Hank Aaron bobblehead giveaway together with Truist.
It's gone! It's 7:15! There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron!
Visit Braves.com/promos to get your tickets and check out all the fun planned for this season. And April is a perfect time to bring a group out to a game. Come experience the new Jim Beam Bourbon Decks in left field and the brand new Blue Moon Beer Garden at the rooftop in right field. Visit Braves.com/groups to see how your crew can snag one of these brand new spaces this season. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Want weather? Grab your phone. Need traffic? Grab your phone. Conservative news and talk, also on your phone. Get the Extra 106.3 app.
It's so simple to download, so do that right now while you're thinking about it, while I'm talking about it, wherever you get your apps. Search for XTRA 106.3 FM Atlanta and take the Morning Extra, the Glenn Beck program, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, and, of course, the Kimmer Show from 3 until 6 with you. It's right there on your phone. You can listen in the car. You can listen to the office. You can listen, what did I say, home, office, car. I got them all. I think I got them all. Anywhere you want to. We are joined by Riley Gaines, the director of the Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute. She'll be speaking at Georgia Tech on the 13th and at UGA on the 14th, part of her Speak Louder campus tour. You can register for this. It's open to the public, RileyGainesCenter.org/events. Riley, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Well, thank you guys very much. I'm super excited to be on it, and I'm super excited to come to Georgia.
Right on. We're glad to have you back. So, Leah Thomas, first time I'd ever heard of Leah Thomas was William when he won a national championship down at Georgia Tech. So this has been almost 2 years. So for the rest of us that didn't see this coming, you did. Did you see it coming before the national championship at Georgia Tech down March of 2022?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you, is I might be in the same boat as you guys, because honestly, this was something I never could have imagined, especially not competing at the level of which we were competing at, right? The highest level. You guys know the NCAA championships, comparatively, honestly, it's faster than the Olympics because of the depth that the U.S. has. And so I never would have imagined until about 3 months before that national championships, when all of this started to arise, and I began to see that this wasn't just, some hypothetical story anymore. It was reality. And that became even more real at that national championships at Georgia Tech in March of 2022.
Riley Gaines joining us here on the Morning Extra. When I first saw you kind of step up and speak out, I go, oh, this poor girl, she has no idea what's about to happen to her. But it was just common sense what you were saying. And I worked in women's golf and the high school level going into college. I realized how hard it was for these girls to get an opportunity just to play for a school and hopefully get to a bigger and better level with the LPGA. And to have a guy be able to come in and take that away. I thought of you right away, and I think of you all the time when this happens, and you took this on, and it's just common sense. Allow women to play sports. All you're doing is standing up for women's rights.
Boom. This argument, it very quickly gets labeled as anti-trans, or, I've been called every name under the sun. I know you guys can imagine, right? Like homophobic, transphobic, racist, white supremacist, a domestic terrorist, a fascist, the list goes on. But make no mistake, my argument is not anti-trans. It's not anti-anything. It is pro-reality. It is pro-fairness. It is pro-common sense. It is pro-woman. That is what my stance is. I'm standing for women rather than against anything. And that's what Title IX was intended to do. You mentioned, the strides that have been had since. And in the past 52 years since Title IX's implementation in 1972, this skyrocketed women forward, not just in athletics, but really in the workplace, within personal relationships, everywhere. And now the same people who fought for Title IX are the same people who are actively undermining Title IX's original intent.
Riley Gaines is our guest on the Morning Extra. And Riley, I think a lot of this goes back to just the Marxist nature of what we're seeing creep in our society. The idea that no one is an individual, no one is special. In fact, all men and women are the same. You have to buy in to that initial premise in order to go along with this stuff. How much of it is a battle between the individualism versus the Marxist nature?
Gosh, that's exactly what this is. I think, as a Christian myself, I entirely see this battle as a spiritual battle. And the Bible tells us we'll reach a point where really this spiritual battle intensifies. But from a worldly perspective, every single piece of this points in one direction, and that direction is Marxism. I had the opportunity yesterday to talk to Xi Van Fleet, a survivor from communist China. And she just kind of enlightened me to the different pieces of this in regard to, the denial of objective truth, the shift in our language, even the breakdown of family, and even pinning parents and kids against each other. the breakdown of our faith, the breakdown of our freedoms, the propaganda being spread through the media, the preying on our most vulnerable, which is that of children and women. And I'm not saying this to sound super conspiracist or like a doomsayer, but if you lay out the pieces and you have the slightest understanding of history, you understand what this means. And again, it's not just in this space. Just this week, I believe the Attorney General of New York launched an investigation into a bunch of firefighters, the New York Fire Department. They booed Letitia James. They are now being punished, and they have to face re-education. They were told they have to turn themselves in or risk being hunted down. And look, if you've read 1984, you know how this book ends.
Riley Gaines is our guest on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10. She's the director of the Riley Gaines Center at the Leadership Institute, and she is going to be on the Speaking Louder campus tour, Georgia Tech, on March 13th, University of Georgia. March 14th, Speak Louder campus tour sponsored by the Leadership Institute. So, Riley, I appreciate your faith. My wife and I go to church every Sunday. We're not perfect by any means, but we're Christian and we're proud of our faith. And I'm proud that you feel the same way. And I'm proud that you wear that on your sleeve, because it's so important that this nation finds its faith, because otherwise we're spinning out of control. And we see what removing faith from the public domain does. And it's so sad to me to see this happen in the United States of America, where we were built on Judeo-Christian values. We were built on our faith. This is important, and the left loves to remove all that, because if they remove some sort of morality that comes from the Bible, then where does morality even come from? Or do you need to subscribe to it? And the answer is always no.
You hit the nail on the head. And that's what I wish more and more people would realize. But truthfully, we are reaching a point where we've really just become a godless country. And like you said, this is a nation that was built on, in God we trust, or one nation under God. But I have seen, I've been eye-opened a lot of ways this past year, 2 years or so. Politically, I really honestly had no understanding of how our political sphere worked or how civics worked in general. And so I've really been eye-open there, but more than any place, I've been eye-open spiritually, and just seeing very clearly how God works and how he moves and how he definitely has his hand on me. But just as clearly, I've seen how Satan works and how he moves through deceit, through manipulation, through temptation, through lying and affirming delusions. And that's entirely what this, I would say, a lot of these cultural issues that are plaguing this country, but especially the gender ideology movement, is about deceit, and it is about lies to affirm something that's simply not true. And that's how Satan works.
Riley Gaines joining us here on the Morning Extra. I love that you're doing the Speak Louder campus tour, because it's almost a reverse indoctrination. We've seen what our colleges are telling our kids and our students, and some people are afraid to send their daughters to some of these schools, but you're out there and you're talking, and it kind of will open up a time to say, hey, these girls deserve an opportunity rather than a man dressed as a girl. But at the same time, we saw what happened, and we watched what happened when you were out in California. Are you afraid for your life from some of these people who continue to trap you in rooms and throw things at you and attack you?
You know what? Definitely. Just because the other side can truly be unhinged. And I've seen that again with my own eyes. And it's almost ironic. It would be comical if it weren't if it didn't have real consequences. Because this is the party that claims to be tolerant and that claims to be accepting and welcoming and inclusive and all of the different things, but that is not what I have been met with. I've been met with vitriol. I've been met with violence, physical violence, even hatred is what I've been met with. But sometimes, you have to insert yourself into the belly of the beast. So that's what we're doing. That's where a lot of these issues are stemming, is from the education system, not just in college, really at all levels, but especially college. And I know this because I'm a recent college graduate myself. And I hope everyone on this show can agree that as long as we're not singing Rocky Top, we're in friendly territory.
Yes.
That's right.
Those evil Vols.
Riley Gaines is our guest on the Morning Extra, and I want to ask you about this. I have 2 daughters. They both kind of aspire to be collegiate athletes, and we stare at the Biden administration, and we wonder, what are they going to change about Title IX? What do we have on the horizon that we have to look out for, what might come out of this administration?
Well, unfortunately, it's not a might anymore. It's what will come out of this administration, and you can expect it within the next 2 or so weeks, I would imagine, is the timeline. They've been moving in secrecy because they know this is a losing issue for them. Because, look, Republican, Democrat, whatever color your skin, people know that men cannot become women. They know that it's wrong to have men in women's sports. But in true Biden administration fashion, they don't care. And they're going through with this Title IX rewrite anyways. It is an illegal administrative rewrite that equates the word sex in the Title IX. There's only 37 words, with of course, the objective being, preventing discrimination on the basis of sex. They are now changing that, and they are equating sex with gender identity, which in a nutshell, it's a lot broader than just women's sports. This means that men could take academic and athletic scholarships. Men would have full access to bathrooms, locker rooms, changing spaces on campuses. Men can join sororities, which is already happening. Men would be randomly housed in dorm rooms with women. And if you, a 17-year-old girl who just went to college, are given this boy as your roommate, if you go to your administration and express your discomfort, you are guilty and charged with sexual harassment under this new rewrite. And again, you can expect to see this implemented within the next few weeks.
It's unbelievable. Riley Gaines, our guest here on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Make sure you check out RileyGainesCenter.org/events if you want to keep up with her and see her speak at Georgia Tech or the University of Georgia. Last thing for you, Riley. How political were you before all this started?
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I've always been, I guess, politically inclined to a degree, in terms of just having my values and sticking to my values. But this is never a position that I wanted to be in.
Okay, that's what I expected.
So, and honestly, of course, still it's not. I wish all of this could be fixed tomorrow, and I would go back to being a dentist. That's what I was for after college.
Well, we're glad that you were put in this direction, and God put you here for a reason, and
Good
this was
Lord
it.
works in
and you're doing
mysterious
an
ways,
amazing
ma'am.
job.
Well, thank you guys very much. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, my gosh. It's our honor to have you on, Riley Gaines. The Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. If you ever miss anything like Riley, you can catch her on the Extra 106.3 app. It is available free and on demand. That's the best reason to get the Extra 106.3 app. So wherever you download your apps, just search for XTRA 106.3 FM. Atlanta, when we come back, how they groom your kids. This is something you'll want to pay attention to if you have young kids or grandkids. Next on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. The Kimmer Show is only on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, Morning Joe filling in for Flounder here today. We just got a message from Flounder, says you're doing all right. Make sure you play the Tucker Carlson bite. Okay, get on my back. God. You're supposed to be doing something. I thought you had an appointment or something.
You just called him Blounder.
Did I?
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Ooh, have you started noticing your allergies are giving you a problem? Board Op Joe Virgin River is saying yes. Rhino is saying yes. I haven't been clearing my throat a whole bunch. And it's just that time of year. So there's a couple things that you can do. At Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they have ways to make sure that the air in your home is pure. They have ways to make sure that the air that you breathe in your house is good for you. Home ventilation products, they do all that stuff. Anything to do with the air inside your home, Central Heating and Air Conditioning can take care of. Better service through knowledge. That is their mantra. And I encourage you to reach out to them because I've been using them for years, even before you heard me talking about them. I was a customer. Been a customer for several years. Gosh, it's probably 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. It's been a while. And here's the thing. So they can take care of all the healthy air that you want in your house, but they can also take care of the heating of said air or the cooling of that air as well. They've got summer savings as we blossom into spring. They can give you a great deal on a Carrier system, the best in the business, working with the best in the business. You can get 0% APR financing for 60 months or save up to $1,700 in rebates on qualifying Carrier HVAC systems. You want to learn more about that? Making the air in your home clean, or even a new system or a maintenance agreement for that matter? Whatever you need, they can do it at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. 770-GET-HEAT is the number, or centralheat.com.
Stop dreaming. Start driving. Get the gift that keeps on giving with the RBM of Atlanta's Certified Pre-Owned Sales Event. Each of our certified pre-owned vehicles undergoes an exhaustive process of analysis, inspection, and reconditioning until it meets the uncompromising standards of RBM of Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz. For a limited time, get special financing from as low as 2.99% APR. In addition, you'll receive unlimited confidence with Mercedes-Benz's unlimited mileage warranty, delivering continued assurance for up to 7 years. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Not all offers apply to all vehicles, and special financing available to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Services through April 1st, 2024. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call 770-390-0700 for details. Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. or find it online at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
You shouldn't need a degree in finance to choose a checking account. That's why we made Truist One Checking. No trade-offs, no compromise, no hassle. Just the stuff you want from a bank that cares. And that means no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and automatic upgrades. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Visit truist.com/one. Truist.com/ONE. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
Well, Sally, thank you for your time. But unfortunately, we can't offer you the position.
But why?
Well, we got the results of your background check, and we saw some red flags.
Like what?
Apparently, you were accused of dog-napping a Chihuahua named Mr. Cha-Cha.
Mr. Cha-Cha was my soulmate.
At Horizon Background Screening, we find things that other companies don't. That's why companies that use us make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com.
Introducing Sonder Health Plans, your trusted local partner for Medicare Advantage in Georgia. Only in Georgia. With Sonder, you'll get comprehensive coverage that's tailored to your needs. They offer $0 primary care visits, $0 premiums, and access to a wide network of Georgia healthcare providers. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com now to learn more about their valued-based care that won't break the bank. Or call 888-428-4440. Sonder Health Plans, your doctors, your neighbors, your friends.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
The Morning Extra is on till 10 a.m. And the live and local conservative talk continues on your drive home with the Kimmer Show, 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3.
Tucker, Rhino, and Lowe's, glad that you're here. Closing out the 6 o'clock hour. We I think Lowe's and I ran across the same piece of audio, and both were absolutely blown away by it because it's all about grooming children, and you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe what I am looking at. But that's not where we'll start this morning. Lowe's, we actually want to start with someone who's married to someone in the Biden administration.
Yeah, so Pete Buttigieg, he has his husband, and so he works with children, all right? Now, I don't have an issue if you were telling me this man is a teacher, works with children, looks to improve his community. And I don't care if you do that, if you're gay or straight or anything else. Yeah. Like, I think that's a very admirable profession.
Sure.
But this video ended up coming out. This is Chasten Buttigieg. And he's running this is basically their Pledge of Allegiance to start the day with what the campers are doing. And understand, and it sounds terrible, but I love it. They can't breed, they have to recruit. Okay? So listen to the pledge that they start off the day with at this camp with these younger kids, and listen to what this pledge entails.
All right. I pledge my heart. I pledge my heart. To the rainbow. To the rainbow. Of the not so typical gay camp. Of the not so typical gay camp. One camp. One camp. Full of pride. Full of pride. Indivisible. Indivisible. With affirmation and equal rights for all. With affirmation and equal rights for all. Watch your heads.
So you're running a camp in which you're trying to encourage kids to, especially if they feel, hey, maybe I'm gay. Maybe I feel differently about myself. But we have to start with a pledge so that we can make sure we drive this home, so that we can make sure to indoctrinate, so we can groom, as we like to put it, Rhino.
How old are these kids?
They were
like
younger.
7,
yeah.
Maybe 7 or 8. It was 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
The disgusting part about this is if I were to have a camp and say, hey, heterosexual sex is so important, so we've decided to put men and boys and girls in the same cabin, and I pledge to only have sex with boys and girls or whatever that was, and made it more heterosexual, it would never stand. It would be called child abuse. It would be called sexual abuse. This is a disgusting, disgusting thing that has no place whatsoever in any kind of camp. Don't care. I cannot stand the idea of this. Why can children not be children? What we should be talking about is, I will not shoot a bow and arrow at Timmy down the road. Right. I will make sure that I return my life vest. Yeah. These are the pledges we should be making at a camp.
Or pledge allegiance to the flag. Let's bring in a little patriotism. It's okay to love America.
So then let's fast forward over to the audio that Tug went ahead and found. It just drives home what you're up against. Again, you're now looking at the husband of Pete Buttigieg, and now you move over to a discussion with a grandma.
Man, I didn't know what to make of this, because I always say, with age comes wisdom. And I do believe that's the case most often, Los. But in this case, this grandmother was being asked about giving her grandchildren puberty blockers. And she was like, yes, absolutely, all about it. But she wouldn't let her grandchildren get a tattoo because those are too permanent.
How old are your granddaughters?
They are 6 and 8.
Would you support them to get hormone blockers to become the other gender?
I would absolutely support them to get hormone blockers. The idea of one of my granddaughters learning that they're going to start having their period if they don't get their hormones blocked, even though they're identifying and portraying as a male. How horrible that would be. So yes, definitely.
If your granddaughter came to you and wanted to get a tattoo, what would you say?
That would be more difficult. I always told my 3 sons, the one thing I ask is, please don't get tattoos.
Really? Why tattoos?
There's just something so permanent about it.
Permanent?
It's pretty permanent. It's very difficult to get them lasered off or removed.
You don't think it's permanent to change your gender?
And then she freezes and has this weird, sinister smile like, oh no, I'm caught.
I'm pretzeled.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I love it. It's you've caught me in my own logic, and now I'm trapped where there is no answer other than, I come across as being a moron.
Yeah, she look. You know how the Grinch has that weird Grinchy smile?
sure.
That's the exact smile she has at the end of it.
Yeah, it really was. And it was kind of, you could see it in her eyes like, oh. But
yeah, you could see her doing the math. Oh,
but at the same time, she's not going to change that.
No,
she is
she's still
going to
an
stick
idiot.
by that. She's just going to hope. That question never becomes a question again. And the problem with what's going on is people think you can stop puberty and then restart it.
It's the
and you
dumbest
cannot.
thing in the world. Like, is there anything that dumb, Los? I can't think of anything dumber than that.
Well, they've been sold the bill of goods that, well, if you decide you want to change things up or you kind of grow out of this, well, then we can do that. The problem is that when you look at some of these drugs, there's an issue with sterilization.
Yes.
That is one of the deals that when we start talking about messing with hormones, for instance, if you just look at what happens with birth control and what it does to women, and then if you add in issues with anxiety or any of the other corresponding issues that are going on with young people, it becomes something where you go, hold on a second, I don't know if I want to add that. Now imagine puberty blockers.
Right.
Ooh.
But even that being said, she's upset about a tattoo being permanent. Now, let's use the reference of what she used, which was her granddaughter. She doesn't want to have a period, so she's okay with it. So then you're okay with stopping the puberty, and you're not okay with the tattoo on your forearm, but you're okay with them ripping off the skin of your granddaughter's forearm to create a penis that will never work correct, will probably get infected, and she will suffer lifelong medical treatment and needs because of ripping off the skin of her arm, but you won't let her put a Pokemon tattoo on it?
Dude, in the VA, there's a story out today about the VA. They don't even do, they don't gather information. They don't keep records of sex change surgeries and how many of them go wrong. All of the issues afterwards, like you're describing, they don't keep up with those records. I wonder why. I was just trying to figure out a reason that you might not keep up with records that would be beneficial in someone's health care.
Well, this is a transitory period. We are looking at what has gone on with Roe versus Wade going back to the states and finding that now some of these surgeries are becoming illegal or highly restricted. And so the next move, as we documented even with Vanderbilt Hospital over in Nashville, was that why, if I'm not going to be able to have these abortions on demand, if I'm not able to have $4,000 a pop at this, what if I go down this road of transition surgery that could potentially make me $100,000? Well, sure. This is now what we're going to focus on. You know, we've now found the next cottage industry that we're trying to push, and more than anything, trying to make it sound normal to people like this grandmother.
The doctors in Europe who have been doing this longer than it's been happening in the United States, Rhino, are throwing up the stop signs. They're like, this is awful. This is a terrible idea. And you see all of these governments, even in Europe, that are moving away from supporting this activity, which they previously had.
Well, Sweden was one of the foremost in doing the research on this. And when the research started coming back, and especially with counselors, and they realized even with counselors, 35% of these people who decided to transition are now looking at suicide. 34% actually committed suicide. Sorry, not looking at it. Most of them look at it, but 34% actually got it done while getting mental health. This is a huge problem, and the facts need to be delivered correctly because this is a sickness now.
And you have fools like that grandmother that actually buy into it. Oh, no, I would tell my granddaughters to take puberty blockers, take medication to stop their periods, and think that nothing's going to be wrong, but I wouldn't let them get a tattoo.
You have an easier time with tattoo removal, as painful as it can be, than
it's unreal, though.
Why do we put those breasts back in?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're not going to be functional.
Joe Biden has to ask permission to take questions from the press. What do you think the answer from his aides were? I'll let you guess. We'll tell you after the Fox News update here on Extra 106.3. This is the Morning Extra until 10.
Hey, it's the Kimmer. Look out. The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6, just like the Kimmer.
Democrats care more about mislabeling the murderer than they do about the murder itself.
More concerned about misidentifying an illegal invader, which they now call a newcomer. I call them the not yet Dems.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Hi, I'm Mark Beckham with Atlanta Ramjack. We specialize in only foundation repair. What is foundation repair? Foundations sink or settle. These issues need to be addressed. It only becomes more costly the longer you put it off. What is the biggest cause of foundation problem? Either poor construction, inferior site preparation, or weather. Drought causes cracks in your foundations. If you see any signs of foundation issues, please contact us at atlantaramjack.com.
My name is Amy Risley. I have been working for Bruce Hagen for 17 years. When I first started, my boys were 4 and 6, and whenever I needed, Bruce allowed me to bring them to our office. Bruce has always treated us like family, and 17 years later, I still love coming to work for Bruce Hagen. The best part of my job is when I get to put a settlement check in the hands of someone Bruce won a case for and see it change their life. I'm Amy Risley, and I work for Bruce Hagen. Let Bruce Hagen work for you. Hagen-law.com.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Xtra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
Hi, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses like Seniors Helping Seniors.
Thanks, Tara. I'm Terry, owner of Seniors Helping Seniors. After losing my father, my husband and I wanted to take our experience and help others in the community. Our mission is to create meaningful connections while fulfilling the needs of our caregivers, clients, and their families. Seniors Helping Seniors helps less active seniors stay independent, allowing them to live the life the way they want to in the comfort of their own homes. We offer companionship and socialization, light housekeeping, meal preparation, transportation, doctor's appointments, dementia care, relief for the family caregiver, and more.
We hire active, mature adults who have a better understanding of the aging process. It's like getting a little help from a friend. Please check us out at shsnorthwestatlanta.com.
What a tremendous opportunity that fills a need so many of us can relate to. Friends, reach out. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
What's your retirement plan? Master Plan Retirement Consultants specialize in constructing plans designed to meet the challenges you could face over the course of a retirement. As holistic retirement planners, we cover tax, income, Social Security, legacy, healthcare, and long-term care planning. Our strategies are designed to maximize your retirement savings and income while minimizing taxes and protecting your assets from forces that could disrupt your retirement, providing peace of mind. A fiduciary advisory firm, Master Plan Retirement, works with you to create the potential for a sustainable retirement and a legacy to be remembered. Join us on our weekly radio show, Retirement Roadmap, every Saturday at 12 p.m. on Xtra 106.3 as we discuss retirement topics for today's financial environment. Episodes can also be found on YouTube and on your podcast platform. Find us at masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10 a.m. and The Kimmer Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Only on WFOM and W292EV Marietta. Extra 106.3 FM.
The polls are now opening in Georgia. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, on a day that could set the rematch we've known for a while is coming.
Georgia, Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington are holding Republican presidential nominating contests, and the 161 delegates up for grabs among those states would cover the amount former President Trump needs now that Nikki Haley's dropped out of the race.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. President Biden could also clinch nomination on the Democratic side today. The special counsel who did not charge the president over mishandling classified documents will be questioned in a House hearing this morning. One big issue, Robert Hur's comments that a jury would find the president a sympathetic elderly man with a poor memory.
If he is so bad off that you can't prosecute him, should he be running the greatest nation in the history of the world?
Republican Congressman Andy Biggs tells Fox.
We're going to explore all the cavalier ways that Joe Biden left classified documents all over the place.
From the Biden days as vice president and as a senator, another House hearing will be into worldwide threats. The day after FBI Director Christopher Wray told senators the risk of potential attacks have grown since the war in Gaza, and that includes danger amid record illegal immigration at the border.
Whereas some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network
have ISIS ties. Ray also warned about the risk TikTok poses with its Chinese ownership as the House readies a vote that could ban the social media app.
I'm told that TikTok CEO Xu Zichu will be on Capitol Hill at some point midweek. Now, his visit to Washington comes as officials from the FBI, DOJ, and the intelligence community are set to give a classified briefing to lawmakers on TikTok today ahead of that House vote tomorrow. Now, the bill would require ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, to separate from TikTok within 6 months of the bill's enactment, or it would be banned in the United States.
Fox's Brooke Sigmund. Former President Trump appears wary of the ban, saying it could help Facebook, which he calls the true enemy of the people. Haiti's prime minister has resigned as gangs overrun the Caribbean nation. The U.S. is pledging more military and humanitarian aid. America's listening to Fox.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
You may know Boortz is back, but not everyone else does. Tell anyone who loves America, Boortz is back on the radio in Atlanta, and his new home is Extra 1063. Listen to him now on the Extra 1063 app.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the air until 10. If I were to ask anybody on this show, Rhino, Los, or Board Up, Go Eat Virgin River, do y'all have a stick of chewing gum or bubble gum? Does anybody have bubble gum? Okay, Joe does.
In my car,
you do? Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay, and Rhino, no.
No.
So my wife is she always buys it at the grocery store. Every Sunday she'll buy herself a pack of gum. It's been 4 years since the pandemic started, and most things have kind of gotten back to normal relatively. Apparently, chewing gum has not. No one in America is buying chewing gum anymore. It's the end of an era. Chewing gum is just not ever making a comeback. Except for, Lo says sometimes, my wife says yes, Board Up Go Eat Virgin River says yes. A third. Sales have dropped by a third in the United States since the pandemic.
So it's funny you put it this way, because for the longest time, when we worked at our old building over at
Johnson Ferry?
Yeah, over at 400 and 285, there was always like the free gum packs or the promotional packs. And I would always, and typically they were always like at the secretary desk here. This is dropped off.
For sure.
Promotional stuff. Mm-hmm. I'd grab those. I don't think I bought a pack of gum for like 6 years.
Okay. You're contributing.
And so I contributed to this. And so even now, I'm like, I might buy one like once every 3 months just because get in the car and I need to chew on something as I'm driving into work to kind of wake up.
Sure. Yeah, those little Mentos things that fit in the cup holder.
Mentos,
Yeah, every once in a while I buy that Mentos or the icebreakers. Those two. Those are every once in a while I get hankering for like just a minty gum. Don't know why. Yeah. Same thing. I like to chew it when like to keep me awake, to get me going. If I'm on a road trip, I might buy one, but very rare do I chew gum.
My wife buys it every Sunday. She always has gum. And she's like, I don't know if it's just something that is weird in me or I'm getting old, but this will be the oldest sounding thing that I'll say this morning. I can't chew gum anymore, y'all.
Uh-oh.
It sticks to my teeth.
Yes.
I don't know if that's an old
That's an old man thing.
That's what it
We got to ask
like.
Kimmer. Kimmer, call in.
I love chewing gum.
Yeah.
But I can't chew gum because it sticks to my teeth, and my teeth are real. They're not dentures, and it still sticks to them. It
seems sad.
Dude, I hate it.
Sad.
Because I love chewing gum. I'm not part of this group of people that don't chew gum anymore, and yet I can't. Because it sticks to my teeth.
Well, maybe Flounder can like soften it up for you and then give it to you before.
No, that's the problem. Is when it's soft.
Is that when it starts to stick?
Yes. I'm pulling it out of it. It's crazy, man. My wife just laughs at me because it's so bizarre.
Let Flounder chew it up first and spit in your mouth.
Like a bird, like a baby bird.
Have her chew with some olive oil.
Yeah.
Just to keep it like
Something.
I don't know.
Sounds gross, but
It's
it might
horrible.
make it spray some avocado oil on there.
I don't know, like, if this is a rumor or not, but I'm lived by it that, don't swallow your gum because it sticks to your ribs and all that, whatever. I don't even know.
You don't
Like,
digest it
makes
for
no
like
sense.
7 years or some nonsense. That's I was always told.
But I am really bad about swallowing gum. Like,
Really?
I really have to focus on spitting it out a window or, like, getting rid of it somehow, and I don't. Usually I forget that I swallowed it, and I'm like, what'd I do with it? Oh, no. And that's like an irrational fear that I have, like, this big wad of gum in my belly still.
You probably do.
Yeah.
Lowe's, what about the girls? I mean, because they're, obviously on the athletic field, are they chewing gum at all?
Neither one of them.
Neither?
They just do tobacco.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They just smoke. That's all.
Do you ever think about how funny it was when we were growing up, and I think it's still out there, how we were handed Big League Chew?
Oh, my God, yeah.
A big pack of bubble gum with the idea of, like, maybe we'll steer them into real tobacco down the road. Or the candy cigarettes that they would have with the red dots on the end of it.
I love those.
My sister loved candy cigarettes. She would buy them every day. I would always get Hall's cough drops. She would always get candy cigarettes at the gas station when my parents would stop fill up.
By the way, your body only takes several days to digest and get rid of gum. It's not 7 years.
I know.
Why did
but
people
that was
start
the rumor.
saying that?
Because they didn't want you chewing it. Remember, in school and everything, like, don't chew gum. It was disgusting for a long time. People hated when people chewed gum.
Yeah, and then, I think the problem was people stick it under the
get
teeth,
rid of it.
right? Yeah, or swallow.
Or there are people that chew, like, Birth of the Cow over there. And you're like, shut up with your gum.
That does still, for some reason, bother me when I see, and one of them is it's somebody within our volleyball club, and she just chews gum like a horse during the tournaments. And I wonder what is going on in your brain that you're chewing gum like that. And I don't mean to be insulting, but I think it says something about you.
You can't help but
notice it.
Can you not hear yourself chew? This is that is my biggest pet peeve and it's probably my issue more than it is anyone else's. For some reason, I can hear people chewing their food that are loud chewing. I'm like, can you not hear yourself doing that?
Yeah, how do you miss it?
It makes my stomach sick when I'm sitting with someone and they're like, just chewing on hamburger, doesn't matter, gum. Oh, it drives me insane.
Do you think it's because of the sugar and because people are trying to get away from sugar a little bit? Maybe that it's a sugar thing that it could be people not eating it anymore. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's just a random guess, but something that
I don't know. Maybe you need one of those like really bad gums, like Big League Chew. Remember, you'd only had like 2 minutes of it
30
before it turned into a rock hard piece of gum. Maybe that's what you need, the rock hard that doesn't come apart.
Maybe so, man. I don't know. I just find it interesting that gum is not selling anymore. Nobody's buying it except for Goey, Virgin River, and my wife Laura. That's it. Nobody else. Joe Biden, he had to ask permission to answer questions from the press. And when he did, what do you think his aide said? I'll let you hear it.
Anyway, am I allowed to take any questions? Anybody here to stay?
Stop. The cars. Thank you, press.
And you hear him ushering him.
Thank you.
Thank you. No.
Okay,
you can't ask questions.
Why are you laughing at that as part of the media? Because the reality of it is he's not asking that as a joke. He's literally asking if he has permission to do something. The president of the United States is asking on media, on all over the world, am I allowed to do this?
You do realize that any other president in the course of our history just can decide to do what they kind of feel like doing. Not one of them, do I recall, on a regular basis says, hey, do I have permission? Can I take questions? They do what they want to do in their, part of it's their own self-interest. In Joe's, his own self-interest is, you're not allowed to talk any more than what we give you these cards.
Do not. And we will push, even if you ask, we will embarrass you in front of the media and say, no,
we'll make sure and usher you out of here.
This is done. You don't get to.
If this was a one-time thing, and because there are times, and even we get it with some of the guests that we bring on, I only have this amount of time. Can I answer questions? Can I take phone calls? Can I do that? That's look, if that was the situation where he had something else going on, or he had a full schedule, which we know thanks to Carlos,
that's right.
who reads them out to us all the time, there's no
right
full schedule.
What was yesterday's listed?
If he were to say one time, just say, hey, listen, do I have time for questions or do we need to move on? Or do I need to get out of here? That's a different story than asking permission. Am I allowed to ask? Like, there is a difference. They'll spin it saying, well, maybe he just didn't have time for questions. That's why he was asking.
Yeah.
No.
We know better.
We know better.
3:35 presidential. The president participates in a campaign event in New Hampshire. That was what they had. As of today, way cut down. The president will meet with in a campaign meeting with Teamster members. That'll be closed to the press. And outside of that, let's see, he holds a bilateral meeting with, the Prime Minister of Poland. That'll be in the East Room at 4 o'clock. So that'll be the in-house pool. So they'll let everyone take pictures and show what they're doing. But, of course, he'll never field questions.
No, of course not. They're going to let him answer questions.
Well, maybe they'll say yes this time.
Maybe
he'll ask and they'll be like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the White House pool members will be allowed to take their pictures. They'll probably fire off some questions. They'll have the photo op, and then they'll be ushered out of the room.
Or if as we've seen in the past, on his cards, it'll be ask so-and-so from ABC or so-and-so from NBC. But that's because they're already pre-screened questions. We know what's coming. We're going to give you the answer. This is the only time you're able to do that.
Right. They'll be like, yes, you can answer Caitlin Collins from CNN.
Exactly.
You can answer her questions because she's your biggest fan.
That's right. So it's pre-screened. It's pre-set up, just like the Seth Meyers interview, pre-screens, everything that was done. And he still couldn't get that right. But the point is, they're trying to eliminate any sort of gotchas, any sort of oopsies, any sort of Joe just being Joe.
Well, so there's always this wild theory under Rush Limbaugh, and I thought there ended up being a lot of truth to it during the Obama years, that every single time they would look to have something that they were doing publicly or that they were announcing, it was always after 3 o'clock. So that Rush Limbaugh could not echo, comment, talk about, here's what just came out. And so if you look at like KJP, she and Jake Sullivan will be holding their regular press briefing at 1:30. But if you look at everything with Joe Biden, it's after Buck and Clay, the biggest show in America. It's always after, because when they can air it live or they can make fun of this in this way, then you have real on-site, real-time reactions by the American public, and that's something they don't want.
No, of course they don't, because then that already sets the narrative basically for whatever the story is, whatever it is that they're trying to get out there. So if the narrative is already this is a disaster and it's on the biggest radio show in the country, then people even in the lapdog media are going to have to respond to it through the lens of this has already been made fun of.
No drive time. No drive time. Don't allow it. After drive time, maybe. Yeah, but never during drive time.
But there's the heart and soul of conservative radio, of the biggest show in the country is noon to 3. That's where it is. So when your campaign event yesterday is 3:35, it's to make sure we've got to keep this content off of 500 radio stations across the country.
That's right.
Yeah,
because
that's where
they don't want the narrative already set before they can get it and push it out to the way they want it to. Morning Xtra, Xtra 106.3. I'm so glad Benjamin Netanyahu is defying the so-called red line. My thing is, the only thing I want to see Bibi do is do what's best for Israel, because that's our biggest ally in the Middle East. Why would he do anything that is going to damage Israel, his country, his people? It makes no sense, and I love the fact that he's pushing back and he's like, I got no time for this.
Yeah, he's not playing politics, and Biden is, and he knows the Democrats are playing politics with this, playing both sides of the aisle, saying, hey, we support Israel, you have the right to defend yourself, but we also have the support of the terrorists, and we're going to build them a port and spend our money and put our soldiers in harm's way by allowing them to build this port off of Gaza. I'm glad that Netanyahu isn't falling into this, and he knows that. I love that the Democrats also always talk about a threat to democracy, and we got to make sure that the threat to democracy is taken care of. This is the biggest threat to democracy. Ukraine's not a democracy. Ukraine's not part of NATO. The only country that's not part of NATO that works with NATO is Israel. Always has and continues to. Now, they may not be a part of it, but they follow the rules. They try their best to. You know who doesn't? Hamas. They don't follow any rules. So Netanyahu realizes that. He doesn't care what Biden says. And in fact, he said, we're not getting off the gas. We're going to go ahead and put our foot on their throats and finish this. And I'm all for it. Keep us going.
What is the benefit of not? You're going to be attacked again.
Again and again and again and again.
And it's never going to end.
Well, it's not like they've stopped shooting rockets every single day. Mm-hmm. And until you have at least a level of capitulation where we're going to stop. Like, one of the comedic elements of this, and when I say comedic, it's because it should make you angry at how stupid this is. When you have the Biden administration talking about these red lines and these ceasefires, and what do they say? Well, Hamas hasn't agreed to it yet. Hold on. If you're getting your ass kicked, what do you mean they haven't agreed to it yet? They're the ones who continue to be like, fight is on. Yeah. It's me and you.
Well, but there's one reason why, because they need to return the hostages. They can't return the hostages.
Big portion of them are likely dead.
They're likely dead. And they also don't want the hostages to come out and speak about the way they were treated, what happened to them. They don't want the hostages to be returned. They want to be able to play the game and say, well, you killed your own hostages because you attacked us at this hospital. You attacked us here. And then we continue to find out that, well, that wasn't true. It wasn't a hospital. It was actually Hamas holding these people as shields or as hostages. The hostages aren't there. That's the reason why Hamas will not, and they don't want a two-state solution like everybody wants. We are so off on this, and the Biden administration is playing games saying, well, the only solution I see is a two-state solution. Well, Hamas doesn't want a two-state solution.
And they've turned it down since 1996. You even heard Bill Clinton, 10 years ago, talk about that.
Yeah, they have no interest in that.
No.
All they have an interest in is your destruction.
That's exactly right.
That's all it ever comes back to. And the idea that you have from this pro-Hamas movement of, well, we just need a ceasefire. We, the Israelis, to stop being so cruel. Because they know that a ceasefire represents we need to re-strengthen, re-harden, and go back after them again.
And that's the problem with the whole Ramadan thing, right?
Yes.
Is trying to decide, okay, if we stop for Ramadan out of respect for their religious belief, all Hamas is going to do is recalibrate. They're going to restock, and then they're going to come at Israel even harder. And then the flip side because it puts Israel in a no-win situation, if they don't stop, then they're demonized in the press because, see, they don't care about these people. They're in their holy month, and they don't care. They're going to kill them anyway. That's all there is genocide and all the nonsense they always say.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is all nonsense. It's all... Here's the weird part about this. Nobody cares. They want the aid to be brought through. They want everything to go on the way they want it to go on. They want Israel to back off, but they never look at Iran and say, hold on one second. Instead of us building a port, why not use the $6 billion of humanitarian aid that you were given back to build a port for yourself to make sure aid gets? Why are you not calling for Hamas to stop? Let's go to Iran. Iran hasn't stopped. Iran continues to attack U.S. Iran continues to attack ships. They continue to fund all this. This administration gave them $6 billion to use as humanitarian aid, and they haven't taken care of their people. They expect Israel to do it. Israel has been nice enough to send incubators for children from Palestine that need to, there is no Palestine, sorry, from Gaza that need incubators. That's who Israel did. Israel sent over aid. Israel's the one who's opening up. Israel is participating in peace talks with people who want Israel destroyed.
This is your issue you run into, is that this is a regional conflict. As much as we want to say, oh, this is between what's going on with the Palestinians and with the Israelis, it's not. This is what is going on with Iran backing so much of this stuff. Once you're done with Gaza, once you're done with that, the Israelis are going to go right back to having to focus on Iran and their nuclear program and the destabilization that these people are causing in that area. So much of the rest of the Muslim world in the Middle East has looked at Israel and said, peace is better for all of us.
Yep,
but not the Iranians.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Tuesday, March 12th. Former President Donald Trump needs 140 delegates to secure the GOP's nomination for president. The polls are open, and Georgia carries 59 delegates that will be decided today in the state's primary election. Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington State will also hold primary contests today. Biden, who is on the Democratic ballot today, needs 102 delegates to secure the Democrats' nomination. There are 108 Democratic delegates up for grabs in the Peach State. Georgia voting locations will be open till 7 p.m. Gwinnett County Police identified 4-year-old Abigail Hernandez as the young girl who was killed in the Mall of Georgia parking lot this weekend. The 4-year-old was leaving Dick's Sporting Goods with her father and 7-year-old sister when an 18-year-old driver hit the family in the parking lot. Abigail was rushed to Scottish Rite Hospital, where she died from her injuries. Abby's dad and sister also suffered minor injuries in the accident. And in sports, the Atlanta Falcons have made a decision on their starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins. A top free agent signed a 4-year deal with the Falcons. The veteran quarterback signed a deal worth $180 million with $100 million guaranteed. Cousins ruptured his Achilles in October. After 9 months of rehabilitation, he should be ready for the start of training camp in August.
We will come back on Extra 106.3, and you're getting some TTM. The Talkmaster, Neal Boortz, the only place to hear him, is on Extra 106.3, and our weekly check-in with Neal is next.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays, anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Hey, it's Rhino for my friends over at True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. It's your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies. Now is the time, more than ever, to continue to look and see what you need in case of an emergency, whether it's water filtration or freeze-dried food or just some new ammunition or a new firearm. Everything that you need, they have right there in Marietta on Cobb Parkway at True Prep. It's a one-stop shop for a lot of reasons. Even if you're new to prepping and you don't realize, hey, I better have essentials for my family. I need to protect my family. I need to make sure that I have a clean water supply. Well, they have everything right there. Water filtration. And we're talking about really good professional water filtration units. Things that do not depend on power. Things that, in case of an emergency, will save you and your family's life. Not to mention the freeze-dried food. You can do it yourself. They've got everything you need. Oxygen absorbers, Mylar bags. They have everything, including already prepared, ready to go, pre-packaged, freeze-dried food. And again, if you're new to this, there are 2 ways that you can handle this. Go online, check out all the great workshops they have coming up, whether it's how to clean and fix an AR-15, how to take it apart, or whether it's an intro to prepping. They have everything right there for you in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. Those classes are fantastic. You got to check them out. Go online as well, trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com, and prepare today for worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
Hey there, it's Janelle King, host of The Janelle King Show right here on Extra 106.3 FM, where we are unafraid and unapologetic. We explore the topics that matter the most. You can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and encore episode on Sundays at 9 a.m. And catch up on past episodes by going to the Podcast Park right here at Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcasts every single Tuesday. Until then, stay unafraid, stay unapologetic, and never stop seeking the truth.
I think it's time to get rid of that old, ugly garage door.
Get rid of it? All it needs is a quick repair. Where's my duct tape and WD-40?
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and let us be the ones to tell you if you need a repair or a replacement. If you have a wooden or uninsulated steel door, a replacement will always pay for itself with energy savings. But if your door is insulated and not very old, put down the duct tape and let us come out to service your door the right way. Head to allfourseasonsgarages.com or give us a call today.
Introducing Sonder Health Plans, your trusted local partner for Medicare Advantage in Georgia. Only in Georgia. With Sonder, you'll get comprehensive coverage that's tailored to your needs. They offer $0 primary care visits, $0 premiums, and access to a wide network of Georgia healthcare providers. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com now to learn more about their valued-based care that won't break the bank. Or call 888-428-4440. Sonder Health Plans, your doctors, your neighbors, your friends.
When you're looking for the gift of jewelry that lasts forever, Lee Brand Jewelry and Watch Company will give you the quality and value you deserve.
American family owned and located in Sandy Springs for decades, owner Brandt and Lee Brandt Jewelers offer you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and diamond engagement rings at a value that can't be beat. Lee Brandt is also your jeweler for pre-owned Rolex watches that come with a 2-year guarantee and Rolex expertise. Drop by the store next door to Trader Joe's in Sandy Springs or start shopping at LeeBrandt.com.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Is this the year you want to grow your business? Do you want to expand your team? Build a new office? Hey, it's Tug, and I want to tell you about First Liberty Building and Loan. Aren't you exhausted by going to lenders, building a relationship, and a week later, you're dealing with a new person? You won't have to with First Liberty Building and Loan. The Frost family has been helping businesses grow since the 90s, and they can help you too. They know the patterns, they know the ebbs and flows, and they know business. Now the Frost family wants to know you. FirstLibertyGA.com. Buying a building, building a building, buying a franchise, or expanding. Reach out and spend 10 minutes with them. See if you're a fit for them and if they're a fit for you. FirstLibertyGA.com. By the way, if you're a young banker and you want to work with a team that's faith-friendly with a culture of excellence, First Liberty might be a good match. Reach out to First Liberty Building and Loan at FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
No traffic, no big deal. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra, and we have the good fortune of speaking with the Talkmaster.
Who everybody likes.
Everybody loves.
Except for Tug.
Not just likes, everybody loves. Robert Herr is going to testify about his report on President Biden's mental health. I have the ABC story pulled up in front of me. He's going to defend his findings about Biden's handling of classified documents, basically saying he's too old and doddering. He is not capable of being responsible for all the things that he willingly took. This is the story of the day, I think.
You think it is?
Yeah, I do. Because
you really do?
Yeah, because it's basically
it's not gum chewing.
Well, now gum chewing is important. Are you a gum chewer?
No.
Well, you're part of the problem then.
Now, did you ever chew gum? Like, was there a point like Tug now all of a sudden says he can't do it anymore because it's sticking to his old teeth?
No, it's not sticking to his old teeth. It's sticking to his fake teeth.
Oh, no, but they're not, though. Really not. They're not. I just don't know why they stick to my teeth. It's so weird. My wife just calls me old man.
There is a gum for that, you know.
That won't stick to your teeth?
That will not stick, yes.
Okay.
It's Polydent?
But not being a chewer, I forgot that. I am very familiar with Quell gum, though.
Quell gum?
Quell?
Like Quell?
Oh.
Yes, Quell.
Mm-hmm. Quell gum. I'm looking it up. Oh, and that says gummies. That doesn't say gum. that's completely different. I feel like you're trying to throw me a curveball here.
especially popular on April the 20th.
Yes.
I can't imagine why.
Oh, 4/20. Yeah.
Okay, that gives you a couple of things to
ponder,
to look up,
to chew on.
I was reading with amusement this morning. Georgia Latino Alliance for Human Rights. Oh, by the way, I guess it's still there on Burford Highway, getting close to Lenox. That the Georgia or the Atlanta Hispanic Center. Mm-hmm. I think it's still there.
It's still there.
I always wondered why in the hell they had signs out there about Spanish lessons. Now, wouldn't it make more sense for them to be teaching English lessons for Hispanic immigrants? After all, más inglés, más dinero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
More English, more money.
Why are they giving Spanish lessons there?
I don't know, but my friend in Dalton, Georgia, Both parents migrated legally to the United States of Mexican descent. Sweetest folks. Her name was Gloria Duarte. She failed every Spanish class that we were ever in together. She could speak it, she could read it, but she just, for whatever reason, she just couldn't write it. Whatever you're supposed to do in class, she wasn't able to accomplish that, though she was fluent in Spanish.
That's amazing. I am the first generation in my family that does not speak German, and on my father's side.
Wow, all right.
On my mother's side, the general dialect was that of elitism.
Oh, well, see, in my family, we're still struggling to speak English correctly. We speak hillbillies mainly. What we speak.
In my attempt to learn more Spanish, I've been trying to learn how to say SpongeBob SquarePants.
Ooh, that's a good one. Pantalone something.
Esponje Roberto Pantalones Cuadrados.
There you go.
The things that you will focus on when learning Spanish.
This is what we have to look forward to when we get old. Is just like
sticking to your teeth and saying SpongeBob SquarePants in a different language.
Yeah, I love this.
Okay, anyway, let's get back to the Georgia Latino Alliance.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
They're upset with a bill. I think it's 1105 going through the House in Georgia that gives police with probable cause. Okay, to the power to detain illegal or people they suspect of being in this country illegally with probable cause. And the Latino Alliance does not like that. And one of the reasons they don't like it is because of racial profiling. And so if the Georgia Latino Alliance had its way, there would have to be an equal number of arrests of blue-eyed blondes. That's called equity. When you're looking for illegal aliens, the whole thing is just getting ridiculouser and ridiculouser as we move along.
If I were them, I would send out a memo that says, don't come to this country illegally because they will look to deport you. Then why don't you take upon yourself? The other thing I find that's racist is the assumption that the only people coming across the border illegally are brown people. I think that's more racist. We're not only looking for brown people. There are Europeans that come across this border. There are Chinese nationalists that come across this border. It doesn't say anywhere in a bill that if you look, or if you have brown skin, we're going to look at you differently. That's not the way this is going to work, and I'm tired of this virtue signaling.
Yeah, brown skin is not probable cause.
Nope.
Now, brown skin in the middle of the Rio Grande might be.
Yeah.
Right, so it's all about the situation.
But the probable cause, right? I mean, I drive by, I go up on Bell's Ferry every day. There's a sicko on the right. There's 27 men standing outside. Don't know what they look like, but I know they're standing outside, and I know that they're waiting for someone because every once in a while a pickup truck comes, they jump in the back. Again, don't know the color of their skin, but I do know they're looking for work. There's a probable cause that they might not be here legally.
Yeah, because they're looking to work off the grid, so to speak. I've picked up a few carloads of those people at the. It's now the dump, but what used to be
that Home Depot over there.
Yep.
Yeah. And I've had great days' work out of those people and paid them handsomely. And boy, it got to the point that I couldn't drive through there without being mobbed. And hey, I'm just here to buy a hammer. But I love people with a great work ethic. Oh boy, sure. I need some Quell gum.
I think you've had some. That's the problem.
Well, not this morning.
It's still early.
Gotta wait.
Not yet. I am asking. I don't know if the media doesn't listen to me anyway. Can we have White History Month, we have Women's Week, Women's Month, Black History Month. Can we please have a month in the media where we don't see the word trans?
Yeah, non-trans month?
Yeah, just a trans-free month. It's a stupid fad anyway, powered by mental illness. And somebody is, sooner or later, we need to figure out what's going to be next. Well, because this whole trans fad is going to die out.
Well, we managed from about 2018 and, I don't know, since the beginning of history, where there wasn't this much discussion ever.
No.
This is so recent and has picked up so much steam, and it all links back to when you give these people an inch, they keep taking more and more feet. Yeah. And so to me, Neal, this started with gay marriage, and then it picked up steam where every person out there who had their own political agenda started saying, what about me? What about me?
I like the story in the paper the other day. We have trans people. The next might be furries, people who identify.
Yeah.
Cat. You heard about the guy, what he did to his son when he said, I'm a cat.
Yes. That was great.
At the breakfast well, it was a breakfast table, wasn't he? Picked up the kids' breakfast, put it on the counter, and put a bowl of cat food down in the corner and said, go get breakfast.
Right. Then kicked him out of the house and told him to go to the barn and get some mice.
Do you think that kid actually reacted? Do you think he went and did those things? Does he really thinks he's a cat? Something tells me. No, hell no, he didn't.
I'm not a cat.
Yeah,
exactly.
He came back with, I'm no longer a cat, when they told him he's going to sleep outside in the barn and catch mice.
All you have to do is a little, just common sense. Work as this is, you're working through a common sense problem, and that man figured it out, and all of a sudden, his son's not a cat anymore. Instead of these stupid people, I don't know if you saw the video of the woman. She was angry because she took her kid to a veterinarian saying that it identified it as a cat or a dog or whatever it was. And the veterinarian was like, I can't operate on your child. I don't care if they identify. And this woman was like, they need to be forced to operate on people that identify as animals. It was just, I thought it was made up until I realized, oh my God, this woman is serious.
They should have given her a lobotomy right then and there.
Well, no, they should have given her a hysterectomy before she had any kids.
Or a litter.
By the way, have you seen this video? There's a video. I've seen it around for maybe a year now of a group about 12, 15 people. They're on a street, might be New York City. They're surrounded by policemen, but they're all wearing dog adornments like ears and long noses, and they're withering around on the ground, protecting each other and whining like puppies. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
What do you do?
Well, let me ask you this. Is it legal for me then to roll up a newspaper and smack them on their noses as I walk by?
No, but it is legal for you to rub their noses in urine if they pee on the floor.
Ooh. That's a good idea.
I'm just so tired of all of the silly nonsense. And the fact that we entertain it, it makes us dumber.
It's the trans stuff is just getting out of hand sooner or later. And then, I don't know how many years down the road, but we're going to have a lot of people in this country. They'll be filing lawsuits against doctors, maybe filing lawsuits against their own parents, filing lawsuits against their schools, because they got this mental illness trans thing going when they were pre-puberty or in high school, and actually allowed their genitals to be destroyed. And later on, they're going to figure out, damn, I could have used those.
Yeah. Well,
and they're going to start filing some lawsuits.
Yeah, I would imagine
they already are, as a matter of fact, but it's going to be a wave of lawsuits.
It just drives me crazy.
It'll be worse. Yeah, it'll be worse than whatever it is in the water at Camp Lejeune.
I think that was lead. Was it lead?
Yes.
Was it some kind of poison in there at Camp Lejeune.
At Texas A&M, they put saltpeter in our food.
So they said they did that at boot camp, too, in the Navy. I don't know that is true or not. Do you know that that's true?
Well, at A&M, when I went, there was an all-boys school.
Right.
All men, whatever. But we would take the saltpeter out of the mess hall and back to the room and throw it out the window.
Yeah.
That was discovered when there appeared a little problem on the sidewalk they just laid below our windows. Mm-hmm. It just wouldn't harden.
That's right. Yeah, that stuff is very handy for that kind of thing. Yeah. See, Neal, the fear I have is that this is not a fad. this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg, and this is going to continue and grow and grow and grow. And it may in some ways slow down, but there will always be, because it's been so publicized and such a center of attention, that people are going to continue this for, I mean, because I guess there's always been people who felt like they were trapped in their own body, whatever. But now, with it being in the spotlight for so long, I'm afraid it's not a fad anymore. I thought maybe in the beginning it was. I don't know that it is anymore.
Oh, I think it is. I think they go to the next one, right? Like maybe transhumanism, where they start to develop neural link.
Yeah, they may do that too.
Yeah,
may
that's
do that
the
too.
next step.
But the trans thing is not going anywhere.
Well, it's like, look, there are fads, and if you don't follow the fads, then you're not part of the cool crowd. You're not on the, like these stupid Stanley Cups.
That was a few weeks ago when people were fighting over those.
Are they still, or did that one die out pretty quick?
I think
it's died out.
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
saying no.
I'm telling you, I was in Orlando for a volleyball tournament, and every girl out there, if she doesn't have like a regular water bottle, she's got one of those.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
It's still around.
Are they prancing around? I'm non-binary. Are they?
not this group. No. These girls are more like, here, I'm going to take this ball and I'm going to crush your nose with it. So little wired a little differently.
Well, I've seen some of the most vicious soccer players on the what do they call it?
Oh, on the pitch?
The pitch.
On the pitch. Yeah, are the young women. Oh, my good. They'll throw elbows.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Neal. They will be absolute sweet, nice young ladies. As soon as you get them out there, they're ready to break your face with an elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen the girl that would grab people by the back of their hair and sling them to the ground and then clip the back of their knees, and
I don't know, I like that.
Dude, she is vicious.
You like that, huh? You Neanderthal.
Yeah, well, a little bit. I'm a part caveman. I'm not going to lie about
it. Neanderthal. I've told you before that Bob Taylor was a very close friend of mine. Okay? And Bob Taylor begat Marjorie Taylor Greene. So this because like I met her or saw her when she was a toddler, and this grieves me. But somebody published a picture out of some anthropological book or magazine the other day of what the typical Neanderthal woman would look like.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did. I mean, it's really close.
It looks like Marjorie?
Oh, God, it looks like Marjorie.
I've not seen this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Rhino, do you have it pulled up?
Hold on. Yeah, I can find it. I know.
Oh, that's right, guys. Go looking on the internet for the picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene looking like a Neanderthal.
Well, I mean, you can't tell me that and then expect me not to.
Do it on your own damn time.
Sorry. My bad.
I mean, it's not her fault, okay? And Bob certainly wasn't a Neanderthal. So, although I've got some of that, we all do. But I mean, that really, how sad that somebody. I think it was just a dirty trick to take that picture and put it up there. Don't you?
Dirty trick. I'm telling you, there are people that are supposed to be impervious to certain things depending on the amount of Neanderthal you have still represented in you. When you do the DNA tests,
right?
That's one of the theories.
So Rhino, like he would have, like it'd be off the charts. He'd still have a bunch of Neanderthal in there. Holy cow! It looks just like Neal. It looks.
I need the list. I got to see what my to what degree I have Neanderthal privilege.
Yeah, was it 23andMe, and what's the other one? You can get Ancestry.com. Maybe we can test you out, Neal.
Oh no, I've been tested.
Oh well, then did you?
But I know my percentage of Neanderthal. I just don't know what that entitles me to.
Some sort of superpower.
I would imagine something, some you got to have some ill that has been pushed against you somehow or another.
Some sort of affirmative action.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Actually, as it listed, there's a level of immunity boost that comes with having more Neanderthal as part of your DNA.
What about victimhood? Does it list that?
I don't think so.
No, that comes from another continent.
That's right.
Neal Boortz is the talk
Let
master.
me out of here before I get in trouble.
Here he goes.
Good Lord, he's sinking the ship. The talk master can only be heard on Extra 106.3. Neal, we love you. Everybody loves you, and we're glad that you check in with us. Thank you.
Y'all be good.
Yes, sir. The one and only Neal Boortz.
Now you're just kissing up.
40 disease genomes, and it's like, if you got more Neanderthal, a lot of these don't seem to bother you.
See? I'm telling you. Rhino, you're safe, buddy.
Thank goodness.
When we come back, it's up to you. Pick your border poison. Next on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Tug, Rhino, and Los. We're on the air until 10. Then the Glenn Beck program, who will have Governor Mike Dunleavy from... where is Dunleavy from? Is he Arkansas? Where is it? Anyway, he's on no, it's not Biden. Alaska. Dunleavy. There we go. Am I right about that?
Yes. I wasn't listening.
Yeah,
I was still looking at Neanderthal women.
Sorry,
trying to find
when
a
you
mate.
initially brought him up, I was like, he used to play for the Warriors.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wait, that's
no,
Mike
different guy.
Dunleavy Jr.
Yeah, anyway, he's with Beck at 10 o'clock here on Extra 106.3.
Atlanta radio legends collide on Extra 106.3. The legend Neal Boortz is live every week with Atlanta legend The Kimmer. Because when you get these two guys together, who knows where we'll end up?
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
The Kimmer is live on your drive home every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6. And now Neal Boortz joins this show every week. And if you miss it, catch up anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Hey, it's Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers. Now, Howard Brothers has a little bit of everything, or a lot of everything when it comes to your yard. First off, it's the only place that I buy grills from. But when it comes to when I need lawn equipment, that's also my go-to. They have everything for your yard. I'm going to say it again. Howard Brothers has everything you could possibly think of when it comes to your yard. I mean, the lawnmowers are one thing. But how about this? String trimmers, edgers, chainsaws, chippers, shredders, hedge trimmers, flower bed mini tillers, large garden tillers, handheld and backpack blowers, reel mowers, rotary mowers, sprayers, pressure washers, hole augers, compact tractors. The list, it really just continues to go on and on and on. And here's the cool part about Howard Brothers with their locations. They sell the best in premium brands. You're not going to be frustrated. You can work with their staff. They know the equipment. More importantly as well, they know how to maintain the equipment so you get a multitude of seasons out of it, whether it's just for your home or for your business. With stores in Alpharetta, Athens, Dallas, Dorville, Duluth, Luleland, Oakwood, why go anywhere else? Howard Brothers has everything for your yard.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
Look, some choices in life are complicated. Others, thankfully, are much simpler. Like choosing Truist One Checking. There are no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and when your life evolves and account balances grow, we'll upgrade your perks automatically. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Everybody wants to feel like they're getting a good deal. That's why EMC security customers love their monthly rate from just $16.95. In fact, for such a low price, you'd think you'd have to sacrifice service or quality. Not with EMC security. You get it all. Low price, A+ Better Business Bureau rated service, lightning fast response, and flexible purchasing options, including their popular no contract option. Visit emcsecurity.com or call 770-963-0305 today to learn how you can get a free security camera with new activation.
Neal Boortz here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs, etc.com.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Cobb County Sheriff Craig Owens. Tune in on Saturday or find it online at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 770-627-3235 or online at atlbail.com.
Your voice, your vote. And this year it matters more than ever. So for the unbiased election coverage that affects your family and your community, trust the voices that matter when it matters the most. Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Thank you for being here. 447-441-1230 at Extra 106.3 across all the social media platforms. So you've got Rhino singing along with little Semi-Charmed Live. Is it Semi-Charmed Live? Third Eye Blind? Yeah.
I love Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, man. That was a really, really good band. Like 1998, I think, is when this record was huge.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good one.
When I still had hair a little bit.
That's right. 98, I was...
That's 10 years ago?
By the way, you put this right up next to, as far as the vocal sound with Incubus.
Yeah.
And there won't be much difference.
No,
it's like everybody was singing like this in like 1998.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, man. And
I love it.
And I dig Incubus too, but you're right. There's not a
You just got it was all the same sort of sound.
Yeah.
Post grunge,
yep.
Pop rock, here's what it was going to be.
That's exactly right. And it's starting to kind of bubble up again. After, whatever it has been, 20 plus years.
I still think that
30, almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think it's 10 years ago than I knew.
Well, it's because it feels that way,
sure
right?
Does.
You can't help it. For me, you still think of the 80s being 20 years ago.
It was really funny when somebody took the date, and it basically was from 94 and was like, just so you know, it's like this date was 30 years ago, the same way they went back in time to 1955 from 1985 in the movie Back to the Future, and you go, oh my God, really? It's 94?
Right.
Like, oh no.
How could it be, man? It just seems impossible.
And it's funny because in 94, when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, it was over 40 years before they did. And I was like, we'll never have to wait 40 years. And now I'm looking back on like, that was already over 30 years ago.
I'm 30 years in.
I don't have another one.
I bet you had a lot of hair then.
Yeah, I had a lot of hair.
That's right. Yeah. So did I, man. I was right there with you. But those were some good days, man. Good music coming out of there. And I always enjoy it. I still enjoy it. And I like seeing the bands that have kind of re-implemented some of that sound to make new music.
God, the 90s when men were men and women were women.
Yeah, we can long for those days. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. Los, it's up to you. You guess you got to pick your border poison.
I wonder what's going to be the legacy of all of this stuff, of this crushing of the American economy, of our standard of living. Like, will that be what we look at when we talk about the millions of illegals that flooded in here? Will it be Laken Riley? At one point we looked at the Diary of Anne Frank and we're like, the legacy of World War II and what went on with the Jews was, look at this young woman and look at how this occurred. And that's what people glom onto. But I think, what about the hundreds of thousands of people that we've lost to fentanyl?
Thank you.
Like, there's another one. Mm-hmm. What about the long-term implications of human child trafficking?
Boom. Sound of Freedom. Laken Riley.
There's so many aspects of that I wonder what ends up being that poison that we gravitate towards, and we say, that was the moment. That was the one that stuck out to me, because there's so many offshoots of this horrible stuff.
What if we built a statue with George Floyd, who was killed by a fentanyl overdose because of Mexican drug cartels, and Laken Riley, and we take that, because they're not going to put up Laken Riley statues all over the way they did George Floyd, but George Floyd was killed because of immigration policies and illegal immigrants coming across and drug cartels selling money. You want to play him the hero that way? That's how he died, not because of Derek Chauvin's knee or any other reason. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic at this point. But the reality is, this needs to be remembered as our invasion, because I'm afraid It's not going to be any of those. I'm afraid it's going to be another 9/11.
Well, see, that's the one thing. Sorry to interrupt you there, because I want you to ponder this one too. Maybe it's an event we haven't seen yet, an October 7th style attack where we went, wow, we let them all in the doors.
Absolutely.
That's what I think it'll be.
What do they say? The red lights are flashing everywhere. But that's the crazy thing is how this will all be remembered depends on who wins. Like the elections, because that's who controls the message. That's who controls the narrative. That's who gets to write the history books, is those people. So that's the reason we got to get out and vote today. It's the reason we have to win this, because otherwise we're doomed.
Because largely for me, 9/11, as much of a terrible terrorist attack that was, and the spawning of two wars, it also started the war against our own society with the Patriot Act and everything else. So it was like there's all these offshoots of it, and I wonder what this horrible border policy is going to create. What's going to be that moment we say that's what that caused?
I'm afraid you're right on the what's to come. That's the scariest part right there. 9 races to watch very closely. They'll determine the future of the House of Representatives. Next, after a Neal Boortz report and a Fox News update on Extra 106.3. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10.
It's time for the Boortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I am well retired 11 years now. So for those of you who think I should write another book and that number is dwindling, why would I want to undertake that again? But then last night, something occurred to me. An idea for a book. I couldn't fight it. There it was. Interrupting my sleep. A book about lies. A book about lies politicians tell us in order to subjugate us and maintain their power. You want some examples? There's a couple of big ones. Your Social Security is protected because there's a Social Security trust fund. Yeah, there isn't. You have a right to vote for President of the United States. No, you don't. Racism is one of the biggest social problems we face in this country. No, it's not racism. It's something else. You're being lied to. Corporations pay taxes. We've covered that here this week. No, they don't. They collect taxes and pass them on to the government. Just short, simple explanations of the lies that our politicians tell us. The reason they spread that stuff and how we could hold them accountable. Since the 1952 presidential election, Democrats, for instance, have told us the Republicans want to take away your Social Security. And they're telling us that now, because the idea of having retirement money snatched away from you just as you're finishing your work life is one of the most frightening things you can imagine. And if it's that frightening, let's use it to scare the voters. It's the truth about Social Security that would make you scream. Please, don't encourage me to write this book. I have a tea time. Neal Boortz, Extra 106.3.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Cowart for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. or find it online at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. The Atlanta Braves are in search of the best bar in Braves country, and we need your help. Do you have a favorite spot to watch the Braves in your town? We want to hear about it. Now through March 13th, fans can nominate their favorite local bar or restaurant and tell us why you think it's the best bar in Braves country. 6 finalists will be announced, and voting will open to fans to crown the official best bar in Braves country, with the winner receiving a Braves-hosted watch party and tons of swag. Visit braves.com/bestbar to nominate your favorite bar or restaurant.
The legend Neal Boortz is live every week with Atlanta legend The Kimmer.
Lori, you're on the radio. Hi, Lori. Welcome aboard. What's going on, baby?
Let me just say something about Boortz.
Okay.
I don't know him very well till y'all got back on the air. He pisses me off so bad. And then he'll turn around and say something smart, normal. And I'm like, damn it, Boortz. I was just mad at you. And then you turn around your
Lori, Neal Boortz made a very nice living being exactly what you said.
Doing that for 50 years.
Boortz and the Kimmer are only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
He chose not to recommend charging President Biden with a crime. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and this morning, Robert Hur, who was a special counsel investigating Biden mishandling of classified documents, will testify at a House hearing. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan will lead the questioning.
Did Joe Biden keep and share classified information? And the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Yes, he did.
Fox has obtained Hur's opening statement saying they did have recordings of Joe Biden after he was vice president, admitting he had classified records. But Hur will tell lawmakers it was not evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. And Hur also says Biden's poor memory was an issue in their investigation. Jordan tells Fox.
He also said that he couldn't remember when he was elected vice president, how long he served as vice president during the interview that they had over a 2-day time period.
The polls are just opening in Mississippi now, one of 4 states holding contests that could set up the Trump-Biden rematch.
This comes down to the delegate math. President Biden, he needs 102 more to lock up the Democratic renomination. Former President Trump, he needs 137 more to become the Republican presumptive nominee.
So Fox's Madeline Rivera says they both could clinch today. House lawmakers will get a classified TikTok security briefing ahead of a vote tomorrow that could ban the social media app if TikTok doesn't separate itself from its communist Chinese parent company. Republican Congressman Kat Kamak tells Fox.
I wouldn't want my government having unfettered access to my data or big tech. So why the heck would I allow the CCP to?
Gangs that have overrun Haiti have forced a change. The prime minister is stepping down.
Some experts are calling it a low-scale civil war. The outlaw groups have even stopped Prime Minister Ariel Henry from returning home from Puerto Rico, where he's stranded. Henry says he and his government will resign once a transitional council is in place.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. is sending additional military and humanitarian aid to Haiti. And a ship loaded with almost 200 tons of food is now going to Gaza, where the Israel-Hamas wars left Palestinian civilians in dire need. America's listening to Fox News.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
Start your mornings the right way with Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10. As you heard, the app is the best way to listen, as you heard, so download that today. It's free for Apple and Android. Just search for XTRA 106.3 FM Atlanta or watch us on the YouTube channel at Extra 106.3. So rumor has it that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will wear headgear and use 18-ounce gloves during their fight this summer. And while this sounds maybe like a big deal to people that know fighting, I know nothing about fighting. So headgear, I get it. That kind of seems like a practice round kind of thing.
Layer of protection.
Yeah, but the
it is almost a 16-year-old. It's almost a 16-year-old man.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying either way, whether good or bad or indifferent. It does kind of sound weird that you would be in a practice style setting. But the 18-ounce gloves, do y'all know what that's about? Because I don't have any idea. Is it like lighter gloves so they don't hit as hard? Do y'all know?
Typically, in boxing, you have 16-ounce.
Okay, all right. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't think many people know because growing up in Georgia, we never watched boxing. And I know in New York, boxing's huge.
It's huge.
My wife's from New York, loves boxing. She absolutely loves it. She grew up watching it. I just didn't know I don't know these things. So when I see them and I see boxers that are saying, "Oh man, I'm not paying for that. I'm not watching that."
Yeah.
Because of these revelations about what's going to happen in this Netflix fight that's supposed to take place between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. And then it changes the dynamic. I mean, if they add this stuff in, it seems like it would change people's interest level in it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 18-ounce gloves are going to have a little bit more padding. That's all. When you go to a UFC, which is about 8 ounces, I think their gloves are 8 ounces. There's not much there. It's almost fist at that point. So they're trying to make sure that no one really gets killed, I guess, point. Right? Yeah. That's about it. I grew up, my grandfather was a huge boxing fan, loved boxing. We went to a lot of fights. They spent their summers in Atlantic City, so that was the thing. When I was younger, he'd take me to the Police Athletic League where they had boxing for kids like 4 and up.
I've heard about that before.
Yeah, and you'd get in the ring and you'd be fighting and learning, and it was pretty cool.
Did you say 4 and up?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, folks, can you imagine taking your 4-year-old to the police station and letting them get in the squared circle and
with other 4-year-olds? Yeah, man, I whooped some 4-year-olds, but I know I did.
That's insane.
But most of the time,
I love it, but it's insane.
Most of the time, you don't spar.
Right.
Most of the time, it's the training aspect. It's the learning.
See, that does make more sense.
And the amount of the shape you get when you just go through a boxing workout.
Because you do that for exercise.
It is wild. Like, it is full body.
Yeah.
You will feel it from your feet all the way up through your shoulders. And when you talk about like the ouncing on the gloves, if you want to take it easy, you want to do some light stuff, 10 to 12 ounce gloves are fine.
Okay.
But when you start talking about heavy bag, you need more padding.
Yeah.
And so that's where those 16, 18 ounce gloves start coming into play. And so you're, just as Rhino's telling you, the deal of going with heavier padded gloves and headgear, it's because it's a 57-year-old man fighting a 27-year-old man.
No, I really get it. And I still kind of want to see it. I don't think that's going to deter me, mainly because I don't know the difference anyway. You know what I mean? If I don't know the ounce of the glove, like if nobody had ever told me the ounce of the glove, it would have never crossed my mind to ask the question anyway.
A lot of this comes back to, this is a YouTuber who is now taken up fighting, who's taken up boxing, and who's lined out these fights. Largely they're with people that are has-beens, they're promotional. And so it's selling something. I think by the time you fight Tyson at 57 years old, it's when you've basically declared, okay, this is all for show.
It's the Fonzie jumping the shark.
Yeah.
It's the jump the shark moment. I think
it
you
might
be
the
right
last
about that.
bite at the apple.
Yeah, you may be right about that. So, and I just realized if that's on Netflix, there's not really a pay-per-view part of it. You already pay for Netflix unless they're going to add like an extra, option, I guess.
They've never had, at least from what I know, they've never had an additional tier.
That's what I'm saying.
Like when you have ESPN Plus,
right.
There's then ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
Right, where you can go watch college baseball that it's the random stuff that you have to pay for.
But if you want to watch a prize fight, then you have to order it through there. I've never known Netflix to have an additional pay area where I can, hey, I want access to this, I got to pay more for it.
But that's where you got to go now, because that's what everybody else is doing. You have to have those big events that they're paying for. Netflix has been losing so much money, and this is a big name event. I mean, it would be a lot of fun to watch. I really wanted to watch UFC 299 with O'Malley fighting again.
Yeah.
And I almost put the $80 down, and I'm glad I didn't, because it went to a decision. I was hoping for a butt whooping by O'Malley. But yeah, I mean, it is very intriguing. I mean, I almost did it again in 298. I almost spent that money to watch that fight. But it's $79.99, and a lot of people will pay that to see Tyson. And I don't know how this fight will go. I think it'll be silly. I don't know, man. But
if
Tyson,
it's on Netflix and I steal that from my brother-in-law, I don't mind. I'll watch it.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I've missed a Tyson fight in my life.
I think it's about value. If I was going to spend the $79, I would have much more spent it with the UFC and watched about 8 quality fights and ended with one of the best in the world in O'Malley versus going, I'm going to watch a YouTuber fight a guy who's closer to Social Security. Like that's what you're offering.
Y'all may hate me for this. I would rather go out for a nice dinner than spend $80 on any of the UFC stuff or a boxing match. That's just me, though. You know what I mean? I would rather go out and have a nice bottle of wine with my wife. If I'm going to spend money, that's what I want to spend it on, because I don't know, man. Like you said, the fight that you thought about spending $80 on went to a decision. You're going to be disappointed at the end of a nice meal.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have. It went 5 rounds, so at least I would have enjoyed, some knockout, drag-out fighting. But
I've never been disappointed at the end of a nice meal.
$80.
That's freaking $80.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm just saying.
I'm old now. That $80 goes a long way.
It does.
It's different levels of entertainment.
It is. I know you're right.
Because there are times where I would like to have that nice evening with the wife because it's possibly going to end with like, hey, the fun time.
How you're doing.
But then there's the other part of me that goes like that. Man, I don't want anything to do with her tonight. I'm going to watch the boys fight.
Exactly right.
I'm going to watch the boys fight.
And that's what I'm saying.
Cigars and bourbon, and let's go.
I would love for the four of us to watch the Tyson thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, I'll chip in if there does money. Like, hey, but if it's free, let's do it.
I steal my brother-in-law's Netflix, man.
Okay, let's
we
steal it.
might have it free.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have it legit?
I have
Netflix?
it legit.
Oh, okay, so
I've got
we need to hang with you. Okay, those have
By the way, our friend Stephanie.
Everybody but me, I steal it.
Says, come do a kickboxing workout with me. I'll show you the difference between 12 and 16-ounce gloves. Your shoulders will also let you know the difference the next day.
Will
They
know.
are heavier, yeah.
I've done the training with the UFC style, the gloves, and that versus my 16 ounces. You do burnouts and everything else with those things, you will feel it in your shoulders the next day with the 16 ounces.
I need to go to Stephanie's place because I'm so out of shape.
Well, let's
man.
go.
I need to go there.
I need
really
a class
do.
real quick.
I know, man, but
I don't want to kick anything though. I'd rather let's keep it to just a.
I love kicking.
Well, I'm sure she would do something more. I bet she could tailor something
I would
for
just
you.
skip that.
Yeah.
I'm going to cause my micro fractures in my legs. I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's funny whenever I watch UFC and they deliver one of those leg kicks, I'm always like, I wince because I think their leg's going to snap in half. Because I know mine would.
Because it happens in the past.
It's happened.
What happened is
it's
these
bad.
See, Tug, these guys will develop these micro fractures in training.
Yeah.
And then it'll be one kick, one good, hard delivered kick, and that thing just goes.
Brandon Prothrow or whatever that kid's name with Alabama.
I remember
Anderson
back in the day.
Silva is the most disturbing thing to ever watch as he breaks his leg, and one of the greatest fighters I think I've ever seen, may ever see before. Yeah, he's just unbelievable. And that leg when it shattered, Conor McGregor too.
Conor McGregor did
those
too.
are two things.
Some of these guys, because part of your defense
I'll show you.
is
I don't want to see it. I'll trust you. I'm going to take your word, but I don't like stuff like that, man. It makes me wince.
Part of your defense is you'll check a leg kick by picking your leg up and basically playing defense so that there's no weight really on it. But you're still taking a blow.
Yeah.
And so every now and then that can be what ends up breaking that thing.
Good Lord.
Hell no. Exactly.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. No.
See it flipping around like an old screen door out there.
Yeah, because again, we've talked about this in the past. One broken leg out of any one of us, and Cameron might come in and put us down like a horse.
Dude, and rightfully so.
That might be the end.
I would want to be put down.
My heel feels fine, thank you.
See, I would be like,
better.
Cameron, take me out of my misery.
Yeah?
Just put me down.
I love you, Cameron. Do it.
Just shoot.
Do it, Cameron. Do it.
Two shots, make sure I'm dead.
That's right. I have no more desire to live. This hurts like the devil.
Like it's a hangnail, Tug. Get up.
I know, yeah. You're not wrong about that. You're not completely wrong.
Kimmer's crying, just looking over at Tug like, I wanted you to be my son.
I'm still going to date your mama.
I'm still going to marry your mama. I'm not promised. I'll make her an honest lady.
Actually, he's going to say, I don't have to marry her now. I'm putting you down.
That's right.
I'm just going to live off
You
her.
were the only defense.
This is my last act of love to you, son.
Dragging you out to the woods as he's doing it.
Oh my gosh, we need to write this as a screenplay. This would be so funny for somebody.
Tug and his accidental dad.
Dude, that sounds like a TV show from the 80s. Accidental Dad. Today at 4 on ABC.
And one of them is an ex-Marine. Another one is an ex-Navy man looking for a new dad.
That's right. He got a hangnail. Navy man got put down by the Marine. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. There are 9 races, Rhino, that will determine the power in the House of Representatives. And there's a little bit of us, and we've talked about it, that the Democrats have already moved on from the presidency because they feel certain they're going to lose. You see governments across Europe that are preparing for a Trump presidency. And here in the United States, too, I think there's a lot of people, a lot of corporations that are preparing for that as well. Now, is it 100% going to happen? Of course not. Nothing's 100%. But I do believe that the Democrats have moved on and they're like, okay, how do we sink our teeth into House and Senate races?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the most important thing for them is, okay, what's our next defense when we lose the presidency? Yeah. It's to stop them from getting anything passed. So we need to win the House back. We need to win the Senate and keep the Senate control, and that's what they're going to focus on. The problem for them right now is the swing states, and that's where they need to win a lot of these. In California and New York, as much as you think like, hey, this is easy, it's going going to get wrapped up. No, we got 9 races between California. You've got the 13th district, which is very, very, this is going to be a hard one for Democrats. John Duarte, he's going to be the one. He's a Republican there. He was 9 points ahead in this year's primary. He won the midterms by a couple hundred votes. He's got a good shot at winning that again. The 22nd district as well in California, the 47th district. Those are all 3 districts that are leaning Republican because of the policies that Gavin Newsom. We also have Michigan in their 7th district, New York. These are places that we would never expect to win, but because of policies, we got a good shot at keeping those. But they're really focused on putting money into these races.
And these are awkward places in terms of what's going on in these states. And I think it really points to the overall shift going on within the economy and within the culture. When Michigan was a place where you looked out, it's been 1 point either way for several elections. And now you have polling that shows Donald Trump could be up as much by 4 or 6%. That goes down ticket.
Of course it does.
That starts helping everybody within the House. And you're seeing that in Michigan. You're seeing it in Arizona. You're seeing it in Pennsylvania. These areas where you wouldn't think, hey, watch out for that Democrat. They might struggle in that area. The numbers are showing that the public has turned on these people.
Yeah, specifically and as you brought up Michigan and you said too, Los, and that's such a union state. There's not a Republican going to win a union state like that. A pro-union, solidly union state. And then the ones that set off the fireworks in your eyes are New York and California. The fact that they even have an opportunity.
You know what it goes back to? Your thing you don't care for.
What's that?
The push for EV did so much damage throughout these manufacturing states.
Absolutely.
Where your union guys are going,
Well, yeah, because they see that they're cutting their own throat. I mean, why would anybody in a union state be embracing this knowing that it's detrimental to their own futures? And when they see their union bosses saying, oh, yes, we're right behind Joe Biden, and the union boss, man, he's going to be fine. Yeah. He's going to make plenty of money. And it's the guys that are on the ground, the boots on the ground, the guys that are putting and guys and gals that are putting the cars together, that are working the assembly lines and doing the actual work. Those guys are like, wait a minute. I know you'll be fine, but will I be fine? That's the question.
Yeah, that's going to be the question in a lot of these cities that are dealing with also illegal immigrants taking over. And when we go and look at the way the Democrats are kind of fighting and infighting is continued, you just look at New York's 17th congressional district. That's where Mike Lawler, who, remember, he beat out Sean Patrick Maloney, who AOC came out and said, get rid of this guy. He's not progressive enough. And they did. They didn't stand up for him. So will that happen again? Mike Lawler is going to, he won in 2022. Now again, Sean Patrick Maloney is not going to run again. But you got Mondaire Jones there, who was beaten in the primary to Maloney last year. I don't think he can win this race, especially with what's going on.
Thousands of new laborers that work on the cheap. Similar to what we were talking about with Neal Boortz when he said, hey, I'd go over to Home Depot and I'd hire a couple guys and they'd put in a great day of work because of their work ethic. All right, that means you're not calling the painting company.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not doing that suddenly. And so that worker is now missing work. And so you're now looking at what has gone on in the course of history. That the more people you bring in, the more you drive down wages for the middle class. Those are the people. These districts are the ones that are saying, we don't want anything to do with Democrat policies right now.
And then if you throw on top of that what's happening in Chicago, where they're having them freaking measles outbreaks.
Yep.
You don't think people are like, wait a minute, measles? When's the last time we had an issue
The
with
same
this?
people that told you need to take this shot are the ones that let everybody in here and said, we ain't checking anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you can't look away from that. There's no way you can look at that and go, oh, that would have happened anyway. No, it wouldn't have.
No, it wouldn't have.
And you know it wouldn't have.
And we wouldn't have 2 cases here in Georgia if it wasn't the, bad policies
and this is
and the
just
bad
the
ideas.
beginning, too.
Oh, yes.
This is about to be big time.
Well, the Democrats for a long time were anti-vax for a very long time when it came to vaccinating kids against measles, polio, and others that they thought were cured. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that go into this game that they've played. And now, of course, they want you to take a vaccination for everything when it's unproven. So it's just a weird, and people are tired of that. People are looking at the economy numbers number one. So when you look at all these swing states and you look at the districts, also look at how the unions are in these areas. When you talk about Chicago, when you talk about the Midwest, you're also talking about Detroit. Look at the way they've turned on Sean Fain, who was or is the United Auto Workers representative. They don't like him. They booed him and they cheered Trump. This is what's happening in all these swing states. Jobs aren't there. They're focusing on things that people don't care about, which is virtue signaling all the time.
You know, I think about when our social media director, Amanda, who's now moving on to like all content direction within this stuff. So congratulations to her and Amanda Schwartz. She had brought up, how many times do you think about Rome? And I was like, well, constantly. I love talking about crossing the Rubicon. It kind of like it fueled like everything.
That's right.
But I wonder about ever putting together a story time this week when Rome's economy started to shudder. When it was on that, things are getting bad. We might be falling apart. They started importing large amounts of slave labor. And they didn't recognize what it really did. It destroyed their middle class.
Isn't it amazing how history repeats itself?
Weird.
Yes. It's funny the way it works.
A shuddering, weakening economy, and somebody has the idea of, well, what if we can drive down wages and drive down the amount we're having to spend for these people?
Yeah.
Weird how it fast forwards and you get the same thing.
I'm telling you, over and over and over.
We'll do that later
again.
this week. I just got to sit down and put it all together.
That'll be a good one for sure. When we come back, we'd be screwed if it weren't for Elon Musk. And everyone knows it. And if they don't, the handful that don't, there's one man that is screaming it from the rooftops. And he has quite the platform to do it. Next on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Tug, Rhino, and Los, until 10.
The legend Neal Boortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
To make a good, sound, logical, reasonable choice in this election, you have to look past the next 4 years. Whether it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, it's going to be a train wreck. You have to look past it at what Republicans might be able to do in the next election, what Democrats might be able to do, because I guarantee you it's not going to be two 80-year-olds running against each other again.
Catch Neal's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug for First Liberty Building and Loan down in Noonan. Brant Frost, the Frost family, have been doing business loans since the 90s. Man, we've been talking about the 90s all morning, man. Just great music came from the 90s and a lot of great experience built up since the 90s. Because, the 90s seems like it was 10, 20 years ago, but it's been quite a bit longer than that. So they have great experience in helping business owners either get bigger, grow, expand, all the things that you want to do if you're a business owner. And they can do it with loans at $250,000 all the way up to $9 million if need be, maybe even more. That's just the one that I've seen that was the largest so far. You see, you can get a loan here in Georgia, but it works throughout the entire nation. So they're based down in Noonan, but they work throughout the country. So if you need capital and your bank is just not giving you the attention, but maybe they once did, try out First Liberty Building and Loan. The Frost family is eager to help you. They want you to be there. They want you to be successful, and they want to help you. They understand the ebbs and flows of business. They know what needs to be done. And you don't have to sell them on the idea. Take 10 minutes. If you give them 10 minutes, y'all will be able to discuss what you want to do, and they can tell you yes when big banks say no. I've given you story after story, example after example of how they've helped businesses grow throughout the United States and here in Georgia. They have been able to help them, and they can help you too. FirstLibertyGA.com is the website. I want you to go there. And the number's up in the top right corner. I can give it to you, 770-253-4300. I know you're not going to remember that, but you will remember FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
Jordan B. Peterson, We Who Wrestle with God Tour.
If you say the truth and nothing else, you'll have an immense adventure as a consequence. You won't know what's going to happen to you, but the truth will reveal the world the way it's intended to be revealed, and the consequence for you will be that you'll have the adventure of your life.
Jordan B. Peterson, live this Friday at State Farm Arena. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Extra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
We don't just do foundation repairs. We set industry standards. Mark Beckham here, Atlanta Ram Jack. And while not all foundations are created equal, neither are foundation repair methods. That is why you should always turn to Atlanta Ram Jack for your foundation repair. We have 40 plus years of patents, innovations, and expertise, and we never recommend anything outside the scope of what you truly need. Simply put, we know how to get the job done right the first time. Book your free estimate at AtlantaRamJack.com today.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Horizon Background Screening is a fully licensed and insured private investigations firm that focuses on litigation support for law firms, criminal defense cases, and background investigations. We are also FCRA compliant and process pre-employment background checks, tenant screening, and background checks for volunteer organizations. Whether your business is a law firm needing anything from scene investigations to witness interviews, or a company that requires pre-employment background checks, we have the experience you need. Visit horizonscreening.com to learn more. That's horizonscreening.com.
What's your retirement plan? Master Plan Retirement Consultants specialize in constructing plans designed to meet the challenges you could face over the course of a retirement. As holistic retirement planners, we cover tax, income, Social Security, legacy, healthcare, and long-term care planning. Our strategies are designed to maximize your retirement savings and income while minimizing taxes and protecting your assets from forces that could disrupt your retirement, providing peace of mind. A fiduciary advisory firm, Master Plan Retirement, works with you to create the potential for a sustainable retirement and a legacy to be remembered. Join us on our weekly radio show, Retirement Roadmap, every Saturday at 12 p.m. on Extra 106.3 as we discuss retirement topics for today's financial environment. Episodes can also be found on YouTube and on your podcast platform. Find us at masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Yeah, I got your app. I live out here 30 miles west of Augusta. I'm so glad Conservative Talk is back on the air.
Tug, Rhino, and Lowe's until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, whether you're streaming us on the YouTube channel or on the Extra 106.3 app. We appreciate you being here. We're on the air until 10, 404-741-1230. Love to hear from you if you've got something to get off your chest, or you can find us at Extra 106.3 on social media, at Tug Coward, at Rhino Extra 106.3, and at Front Office Lowe's. There is a man that deserves our praise. He's a man that I have been a fan of for so many years, and I feel like he has been slighted for so many years.
Front Office Lowe's.
No, we wouldn't
Again?
stand for that. We wouldn't stand. There would be no standing for that in this room. No, I'm talking about Dale Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Today is his 68th birthday. The Murph. He was the heart and soul of the Atlanta Braves as we sit here in the Battery, Atlanta, and in the shadows of Truist Park. a park that obviously he never played in, but is a fixture there because he goes over there all the time. He's involved with the team. It's so always good to see Dale Murphy in uniform, and oftentimes you see him down at spring training involved with the hitters. Dude, Dale Murphy is a living legend. Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame, and damn it, anybody that disagrees with that can shut up.
It's close. It's close, but he is more slighted. And I will say that for a 2-time MVP, that for some reason that just gets ignored.
Glossed over.
Like, hold on a second. A 2-time MVP, you really did some stuff, okay?
Dude, he was a ball player. And his son, who's on Twitter as well, and I see some of the things that his son posts. And, of course, his son wants his dad to be in the Hall of Fame. It's the greatest honor for, a ball player to end up there. But his son talks about how if he would have retired a couple years earlier instead of going to the Phillies and then the Rockies, it would be a shoe-in, Los. It would be a done deal because he wouldn't have had those 2 extra years to kind of cut down on what his numbers ultimately would have been.
Well, again, when you look at like Hall of Famers, his numbers are so close. And we've recently had this run of guys that are really close that have gotten in. Just for some reason, that's why I say, I'm with you. He's slighted.
Yeah.
How do you have numbers that are right on that cusp, yet you have the personal accolades, and never does the idea get brought up? You played on a team during the 80s that you carried because they were lacking for quite a number of years before that next regime came in the late 80s.
It was at least a decade because it was at like 81, 82.
Yeah, 81, 82 was their last NL West. And then they basically went the next 7 or 8 years during the prime of his career where they just weren't competitive.
And he was the only thing on the team. And you could buy a ticket in the dugout sitting next to Dale Murphy for $8. You know?
He don't hold any records. He don't deserve to be there.
Rhino, I know you're just doing this too.
But I mean, 5 Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just awful, dude.
He's got 11 awards, different awards for his baseball. Look, he's been an MVP twice. I just don't understand it. He deserves to be there. Just put him in already. Like, why is there so much fanfare over some of these? Like Pete Rose, I'm still in. I just don't understand the fanfare of keeping people out.
Yeah, it's almost like they get so much joy.
They do.
To your point, it's like the writers are like, we're the gatekeepers.
To vote against him.
Yeah, exactly. We're the gatekeepers.
How about this? So by the time that Dale Murphy is Dale Murphy, okay, like if you look over at like 82 and 83, they're an 89, 88 win team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look what happens from 84 on until we get into the Braves era of the 90s that we know, and he moved on to Philadelphia. 80, 66, 72, 69, 54 wins, 63, 65, until that next group in 91 with that young team rolls in. That's why. It's like for some reason he is kind of forgotten to history because they had that run where they were just a mediocre bad baseball team.
Yeah, and it was, man. And I watched them every night on TBS. Every freaking night. Me and my daddy would watch it or listen to him on the radio, depending on where we were. If in the car, we always listen on the radio. If we're at home, we watch Sanford and Son, the Beverly Hillbillies, and then the Braves game. It's just what you did. It was just what you did. And Dale Murphy was the glimmer of hope that they might win a game or you might get to see him hit a home run. I remember being really young, and I only got to go to maybe 4 Braves games my entire childhood. And it was like walking into what I would imagine would have been the Coliseum in Rome back in the day. To me, as a small child, man, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, there was nothing like it.
It's no different than me walking in the Yankee Stadium.
I can only imagine,
right? I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And yet, poor Dale Murphy, he's the one that carried everything on his back and on his shoulders, and people act like he's just a...
Well, happy birthday, Dale.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be there soon.
One day. Do you think... Because I don't believe he'll ever get in. I used to believe that the Veterans Committee? I used to believe that they would put him in because he deserves to be in, and he's the nicest dude on planet
Super
Earth.
Nice.
Just the salt of the earth, man. And yet, that has carried no weight, no sway. I don't believe he's getting in, y'all. Ever.
It's just that number.
Yeah.
The number is always 500 homers, 3,000 hits. And when you look at Dale Murphy, he sits just under. He's just under 400
like
homers.
Under 400. 398.
He's 398.
Yeah.
So it's just a really nice career, but just doesn't hit the milestone.
If he hits 400, is he in? Like if he would have hit 400, do you think that would have just kind of pushed him over the top?
Career 265 hitter.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know, man. I just see
he's mediocre.
And it seems like what the NFL does with the Pro Football Hall of Fame is more the recipe that I think the Baseball Hall of Fame should follow. I really do. Because it seems like the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they embrace players. They take into account what players meant to teams and cities. Or at least in my view, it seems that way.
Well, the standard's different. And the standard is this. Were you ever, during your era, the best player on the field or amongst the best players?
And Murphy was.
And he was.
And you're talking about from the football point
That's
of view.
the way they view it. It's like if I was to ask the question, was Jerry Rice ever the best receiver on the field? Well, yes, of course. We'll have this discussion too. Was Julio Jones ever the best receiver in the NFL while he was playing here?
Yes.
Yeah. Was Matt Ryan ever the best quarterback? That's going to be a discussion where he's a former MVP. Here's what they did. The standard is just different in the NFL.
Well, Tommy Nobis was one of the best players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's not going to be there.
I feel like that at least most of the time, I feel like football gets it right and baseball gets it wrong. They sure do. And as much as I love, I'm more of a baseball guy. I love baseball, my favorite sport. But I feel like going back to the writers, it is that like they take joy in keeping people out instead of celebrating when they put people in.
Can I say this? This is going to be a little controversial. When I covered the Braves, 95 on, watch out, guys. I got to deal with a lot of baseball writers. Baseball writers are bitches. They really are.
Dude, he is not lying.
Oh, God. They're like, I was supposed to get, like, they used to give us King Cones, like ice cream. And they would be like, well, we're the writers. We get them first. They need to be up front. They need to have everything catered to them. They're bitches.
So, like, we have a friend who's always in the building. And that friend is Mark Bowman, who writes for MLB.com. And Mark is part of that Writers Association. But when Mark shows up to the ballpark, there's a level of professionalism with him. Mm-hmm. Man, some of these guys, you'd see them there in like sweats.
They're in sweats. Like, they haven't shaved in 4 days.
Rhino will tell you, they look, if you glanced at him, you would say, who is that dude? And typically it's like, here's the beat reporter who's here to cover the Mets, and he looks damn near homeless. And these are the people that are saying, we're the keepers of the gates.
They're the holier than thou.
You look at them and go,
holiest of the holies.
If there are kids missing in their neighborhood, check their house first. That's how bad some of these people dress and come here. They're disgusting. They smell. They wear corduroys. Like, who wears corduroys in a summer game?
Right. I always liked corduroys in the 90s. You know, back when it was cool.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll come back
in
around.
the 90s, 80s.
But not in the summer.
No.
Good Lord.
Stinkies.
Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Tug, Rhino, and Los. Joe Rogan is the one that said we would be screwed if it weren't for Elon Musk.
This one wild African American, this one wild genius dude decides to buy Twitter.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing. If he didn't do that, we would genuinely be in a real pickle.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. And Los was the first person I remember pointing it out when the left melted down over the opening, the doors, the letting the light in to Twitter. And the left was like, we cannot have this. Freedom of speech belongs to us, not you.
It was the pinnacle of information. And I don't say that lightly. This is not about news television or the Sunday evening news or NBC evening news. Twitter was the place where everyone sent all their content. Mm-hmm. And whether it was from any of the major news networks or any of the newspapers, it started on Twitter. You found it on Twitter, and it was vetted on Twitter. And it was all basically set up to where nothing that was conservative or Republican or anything else in nature could survive Twitter. Once Elon Musk bought it, now suddenly you could be critical of even stuff from the left, which you weren't allowed to before in the past.
It's amazing to me that we have this incredible platform that you can say whatever it is you want to say without restriction. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter.
You can get checked on it.
You can get checked on it, but that's what you expect, right? You expect to be challenged if you're putting BS out there.
I like the community guidelines because, again, even if I'm wrong in something, at least I go back and go, okay, maybe I got that wrong or whatever. But I love the fact that we can fact check and add community guidelines and notes to people who are telling you lies. I love that because I think it's been fantastic ever since he's taking it over. But now it's become kind of like the right-wing conservative social media platform. Though I see plenty of lunatics on there. I don't know who's a troll, who's not anymore. I think there's still some things that they need to work on, but he's been developing this platform to probably be the best social media platform out there, by far.
So if you were just to ask the question, all right, who's been suspended from Twitter? Now, we had Donald Trump that had all of his stuff right on January 6th, where suddenly it's like, why are y'all taking down the current president's information that is going on there? But then you think about even a person like Alex Berenson, the former writer out of New York with the Times, and when he was covering all of COVID, you actually had, according to his lawsuit that's going through the courts, you had it going as high as the White House saying, you need to get him off of here. He's bad for our shot program. Wait a minute, because he's questioning the longevity by pointing out data from around the world? The White House was telling him to get this guy off of Twitter because it's that damaging to us.
Isn't it unbelievable that Joe Biden just a few days ago went in front of the nation and talked about the threats to democracy, all while actually being the threat to democracy? And that the Los's example is so spot on. It hits the target dead center.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying to the point where they've done this so long where they call for a threat to democracy. Meanwhile, they're the party that tried to take someone off a ballot. They're the party that tried to stop our free speech. They're the party that banned my YouTube channel. They're the party that took away my Twitter account for a while. This is the party that didn't like the fact that we said, hey, let's look into the masks. They don't work. Even Dr. Fauci said they don't work. We're reusing, like libs of TikTok. If there's a perfect example of one person who just uses videos of these liberals and plays the videos, doesn't say anything, doesn't add any context, lets everybody else add the context, and then she's the one who's under attack and banned for what the liberals are saying. It's the same thing over and over and over again.
Let's go back to 2020. And this is where Joe Rogan is spot on with this. So if you go back and just look at Twitter suspensions from 2020, first off, Zero Hedge, what did they do? They published an article talking about a virus that escaped from the Wuhan Institute. Okay. So they brought up, hey, this looks like it's been engineered and it came out of Wuhan. And so they were suspended for that. Can't have that. The Federalist had an article about basically COVID-19 pox parties for young people because, well, good. Then they'll build up their immunity, and this is what's going to happen from there. They will then not have to worry about that stuff. And you just go one through the next. Through the next. How about Candace Owens? She was banned for tweeting criticism of Governor Gretchen Whitmer for the stay-at-home orders while she was running around and her husband were.
And the boat. Remember, the husband took the boat out of the lake.
He's like, don't you know who I am? I mean, this was the madness of what was happening. And for when you question, hey, why is the governor and her husband running around? Well, Candace Owens, you're not allowed to question state policy off of Twitter.
And now Joe Rogan has seen the light, too. And I believe he's seen it for a long time. But
he saw it with the ivermectin.
Yeah, I think he did, which you brought up.
Forced dewormer, dude.
Oh, come on. Yeah, because he took it, right?
Of course. Yes, that was part of the drug cocktail he took. And CNN took his video.
That's the problem.
Tinted it yellow and made him look like he was sick because he was fine in 48 hours.
Imagine that, the Communist News Network doing that. That's hard to believe, y'all. It's hard to believe you're selling me on this. 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT.
Charlie Kirk
Heat.com.
in 2020 for spreading information about mail-in ballots happening in Pennsylvania. See what they were doing?
Correct.
See what they were doing?
That's all you have to do, man. The threat to democracy is real. It's just not where you're being told it is. You must understand you are despised by this administration, and they will find a way to cancel your vote if they can here on Super Tuesday in the state of Georgia. Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10. We'll be right back.
Neal Boortz is live every day on Extra 106.3. And if you missed the legend, you missed this.
Why do you think Biden opened the borders? Look, they plan ahead. Okay, we're going to let them in now, and it's going to cause a lot of turmoil and millions coming across the border, and we're going to take some heat for that, and we might even lose an election or two along the way. But eventually, we're going to be able to get this path to citizenship. Eventually, they're going to be able to vote, and they will vote for us.
Catch Neal's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Atlanta, let's talk about, a brand new person who has joined our community. Underdog Fantasy. Say it with me. Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy. First off, Underdog Fantasy. Thank you there, Rhino. I love Underdog Fantasy. First off, I love daily fantasy to start with. Setting up with Underdog is fast. It's super easy. You can go and take care of it over on the main website, underdogfantasy.com, or you can just download the app. That's what I have on my phone, and it adds a level of entertainment to my evenings when it comes to watching sports. Right now, you got the NBA season going on. We got Major League Baseball right around the corner, and you can add in to a little bit of action with Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. Here's the cool part. It's a fantasy game, all right, fantasy, but there's real money involved. Here's how it works. You pick 2 to 5 players from at least 2 different teams, and then you just look at their stat line and say, higher or lower. And if your pick hits, you can win up to 100 times your money. Again, all legal. Everything's good. You can do it all over the state of Georgia. For me, I enjoy it. It adds that extra layer of entertainment. It's so effective. It's so much fun. And it adds to my viewing when it comes to watching some of my favorite teams out there. And all you got to do, as of now, you can start an account and they will match up to your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll also add in a mystery special pick for your use with their Pick'em entry. And all you have to do is use the promo code LOS. That's LOS on your first deposit, and they'll match up to $100. Plus, they'll give you that special pick. You must be 18, present in the state where Underdog Fantasy does operate, and terms apply. Concerned about play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. It's Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog Fantasy. Hey there, it's Janelle King, host of the Janelle King Show right here on Extra 106.3 FM, where we are unafraid and unapologetic. We explore the topics that matter the most. You can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and encore episode on Sundays at 9 a.m. And catch up on past episodes by going to the podcast park right here at Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcasts every single Tuesday. Until then, stay unafraid, stay unapologetic, and never stop seeking the truth.
Hi, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses like Seniors Helping Seniors.
Thanks, Tara. I'm Terry, owner of Seniors Helping Seniors. After losing my father, my husband and I wanted to take our experience and help others in the community. Our mission is to create meaningful connections while fulfilling the needs of our caregivers, clients, and their families. Seniors Helping Seniors helps less active seniors stay independent, allowing them to live the life the way they want to in the comfort of their own homes. We offer companionship and socialization, light housekeeping, meal preparation, transportation, doctor's appointments, dementia care, relief for the family caregiver, and more.
We hire active, mature adults who have a better understanding of the aging process. It's like getting a little help from a friend. Please check us out at shsnorthwestatlanta.com.
What a tremendous opportunity that fills a need so many of us can relate to. Friends, reach out. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
I think it's time to get rid of that old, ugly garage door.
Get rid of it? All it needs is a quick repair. Where's my duct tape and WD-40?
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and let us be the ones to tell you if you need a repair or a replacement. If you have a wooden or uninsulated steel door, a replacement will always pay for itself with energy savings. But if your door is insulated and not very old, put down the duct tape and let us come out to service your door the right way. Head to allfourseasonsgarages.com or give us a call today.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
My name is Amy Risley. I have been working for Bruce Hagen for 17 years. When I first started, my boys were 4 and 6, and whenever I needed, Bruce allowed me to bring them to our office. Bruce has always treated us like family, and 17 years later, I still love coming to work for Bruce Hagen. Just recently, a friend told me they hear Bruce talking on 680 The Fan. They asked me if he was as nice as he appeared to be on air. I smiled, and without any hesitation, answered, he's even nicer in person. I'm Amy Risley. I work for Bruce Hagen. Let Bruce Hagen work for you. Hagen-law.com.
March is the month of marriage, and we're celebrating at Solomon Brothers Jewelers with our annual Marry Me March event. Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers, and we are here to help couples tie the knot this month with engagement rings and wedding bands at this year's best prices. All this month, we are offering savings of up to 60% off rings and wedding bands from our top designs like halos, the hidden halo, single shared prong, double shared prong, and every design you can imagine in our store. Choose from our selection of hundreds of beautiful rings in every budget, or hand design the ring of their dreams. Remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So don't miss our Marry Me March event going on all this month and save up to 60% off engagement rings and wedding bands. Visit us today in any of our 3 showrooms on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, and now in Peachtree City. Or shop online at SolomonBrothers.com or on Instagram at Solomon Brothers.
The Morning Extra. Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, Jimmy Fela, and Guy Benson. The biggest lineup of conservative voices in the South are on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra, Extra 106.3. If you understand one thing, then you'll understand all the decisions that the Biden administration is making. And that is, they despise you and I. They cannot stand the fact that they have to answer to people, Los, that are beneath them.
Oh, they are not a fan of this. And you want to talk about like hating on the plebes. These are the people that they don't understand. Most of the time, it's always Midwest, people that are not part of the elite coast players. That's what they look at, and they're like, we don't understand these people. Take a listen. This is a Pennsylvania voter. Fox News is basically going through just a diner. This is like salt of the earth, regular nice lady. They walk up, put the camera, get the microphone in front of her, and they ask her a really simple question. And this is where you realize these people are plugged in, they're paying attention, and the government and the people, the hierarchy, the people in power, they don't understand these people. And when they hear these answers, it gets them incredibly frustrated. Take a listen.
Talking about inflation, do you feel that inflation has come down? Are you feeling happy and strong with your wallet?
No, frankly, when I see a difference in the total at the bottom of my receipt at the grocery store and at the gas station, that's when I'll start feeling better about the economy. But until I see a difference, frankly, at the grocery store, I'm not real happy.
And we were talking about your family home. You have to make calculations now when it comes to food that you didn't have to make before.
Correct. It's, you have to weigh. It would be cheaper if I made this dinner at home rather than take my family out and enjoy our time together. And I don't like to have to think that much about it. It would nice to have a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah. I guess so.
But the corporate elite, the media elite have told you everything is great. Can't you feel it? Don't you understand this,
Idiots.
you plebe, you moron?
fool.
They hate people like that.
Nachos, just chips and cheese at Taco Bell are $2.99.
Did you see
$2.99
Did you see
for
that
7
email?
chips and a little 2-ounce cup of cheese.
You see the email we got from our chief engineer? He's talking about the beefy burrito, whatever. It used to be 99 cents. 5 years ago, it was 99 cents. And now it's like $8.
Chips and cheese were 69 cents.
Or $6, whatever
Or
it is.
$2.99.
But the hatred that these people have for you and for those people that bring this stuff up, they are looking at it saying, look at your 401k. Look at the stock market. Look how great everything's
Money
doing.
that I can't use.
What are you
or
talking
access.
about? How do you not have the feel of how great this entire thing is going? They look at you like rubes. And if they could find a way to cancel your vote, they will, because they don't want you represented in this thing.
But their voters are rubes. Their voters are idiots, because when they look and they sit there and go, corporations, pay your fair share. Corporations are evil. Shrinkflation. They're injecting the cost, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn around and go, look how great the stock market and the economy is. Look what we're doing here.
Corporations, right.
You're trying to change the tax rate to 28%. You're trying to destroy corporation. And every time you do, prices for us, the consumer, rises. That's the tax on us that you continue to put on corporations. Stop playing.
So the numbers when we had a poll, probably about a month and a half ago, as I'm just remembering, and the numbers were basically the people that felt like everything was fine in the economy, where they were polled at somewhere right around 70% where things were great. They all had something in common. They had typically a graduate level degree, household income $150,000 or more, and typically additional schooling. They were considered the elite. These were the people that when they looked at the Biden economy, like, everything's great for me, I'm not feeling this. Okay, what about the other end of the spectrum where we don't have to talk about 30,000, 40? What if your household income's 50,000, you're dealing with this? That's not a terrible household income, yet they're feeling this incredibly hard right now. And you're going to blow them off as rubes, as morons, as idiots?
Well, because the people in the bubble...
The bubble's feeling it. Ain't not feeling as much.
But the bubble, I just mean the D.C. bubble. That they can't look past what's happening in Washington, D.C., where everybody is loaded because there's all kinds of money flowing through Washington, D.C. with PACs and anything to do with government. There's always just a wealth of dollars. So they're not dealing with it. They don't look at it and go, oh, groceries are more expensive, because they don't deal with it. They don't care. Wow. And the fact that you do means that you're a lower class.
Well, they have a
look
different angle.
Down their nose.
They have a different angle. They don't want you to want for any of this. They want prices to be high. They don't want you going out and buying things and making your life better and seeing your merit buys you better things. They want you to come down to their level.
As the start of the year, the Joe Biden economy, from when he took over, costs you on average $11,400 more than what everything cost 4 years ago. So when that woman's telling you, I'm having to make a decision, it's because even if she's making, let's say she's making $100,000, 10%'s gone versus what she was previously making. Man. 10% that's a sizable chunk.
No doubt about it. When we come back on Extra 106.3, the new Biden budget has 0% chance of passing, but it is a socialist dream, no doubt. Next on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts, 770-GET-HEATER, centralheat.com.
It's time for the Boortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I am well retired 11 years now. So for those of you who think I should write another book and that number is dwindling, why would I want to undertake that again? But then last night, something occurred to me. An idea for a book. I couldn't fight it. There it was. Interrupting my sleep. A book about lies. A book about lies politicians tell us in order to subjugate us and maintain their power. You want some examples? There's a couple of big ones. Your Social Security is protected because there's a Social Security trust fund. Yeah, there isn't. You have a right to vote for President of the United States. No, you don't. Racism is one of the biggest social problems we face in this country. No, it's not racism. It's something else. You're being lied to. Corporations pay taxes. We've covered that here this week. No, they don't. They collect taxes and pass them on to the government. Just short, simple explanations of the lies that our politicians tell us. The reason they spread that stuff and how we could hold them accountable. Since the 1952 presidential election, Democrats, for instance, have told us the Republicans want to take away your Social Security. And they're telling us that now, because the idea of having retirement money snatched away from you just as you're finishing your work life is one of the most frightening things you can imagine. And if it's that frightening, let's use it to scare the voters. It's the truth about Social Security that would make you scream. Please, don't encourage me to write this book. I have a tea time. Neal Boortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now, the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a furniture or big box store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to install your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy safe in Georgia. So go to AtlantaSafehouse.com.
The legend Neal Boortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
All wealth is held by individuals in this country. All of it. That means that all taxes are paid by individuals in this country. Corporations do not pay taxes. They collect the money from their customers, from their employees, and from their shareholders and pass it on to the government in the form of corporate income taxes.
Catch Neal's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Inflation has ticked back up. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After a big drop from the 2022 peak of price spikes.
The consumer price index rose 0.4% in February as expected. Core inflation, excluding food and energy, also rose 0.4%. On an annual basis, the consumer price index rose 3.2%, stronger than forecast and up from January.
Fox's Ginny Casola. In an hour, House Republicans will focus on President Biden's fitness for office.
Joe Biden forgot when he was vice president and other pertinent information of his life.
Congressman Andy Biggs tells Fox they'll ask Robert Hur about that, questioning the ex-special counsel investigated Biden mishandling of classified documents.
Democrats calling it a political hit job. Republicans insist it raised real questions about the president's cognitive abilities. Today, we do have Hur's opening statement. He's going to tell lawmakers, quote, "We identified evidence that the president willfully retained classified materials after the end of his vice presidency." Now, Hur in the same report said he was not going to charge Biden based off of the investigation, that there wasn't enough evidence. Lawmakers are likely to press Hur, though, to further examine what he thought of Biden's memory of those documents and his time in the White House prior.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Lawmakers will also get a classified briefing today on TikTok and the surveillance risks posed by the company's Chinese ownership, ahead of a vote tomorrow on a bill to ban TikTok unless the social media app separates itself from China. Former President Trump's wary, saying that'll help Facebook, which he calls the true enemy. But Republican Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers tells Fox Business she supports that TikTok ban.
The bill is targeted and specific, focusing on the national security threat. We're not getting into content.
Breaking news out of Israel. A soldier who's also a U.S. citizen is confirmed to be among the 33 dead hostages Hamas is still holding, along with 100 others still alive. People will vote for president in 4 states today. Contests that could set up the Trump-Biden rematch they could clinch today. America's listen.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely absolutely free. Text HIM to 321321. That's him to 321321.
Tug Howard, Scott Rhino, and Carlos Medina get your day started with Atlanta's only live and local conservative talk on the Morning Extra.
Tug, Rhino, and Front Office Lowe's on the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. I don't know if this is a indicator of the way that Joe, Board Up Joe, Virgin River, feels about the show or not, but he's playing the Jackass music. So,
well, I mean, that's appropriate.
It's actually kind of fitting. So,
yeah,
and
Carlos is about to actually do a stunt, and we're going to shoot him in the groin.
Yes,
with a T-shirt gun.
Yes, I'm going to take the potato gun. They're going to put a T-shirt in it that's an extra T-shirt. And
let me tell you, man, when I was growing up, my buddy made the best potato guns in the world. He was the first time I'd ever seen them. Man, I'm telling you, he would make like bazooka potato guns. It's the craziest thing. We used to get out and just do the craziest stuff, shoot at potatoes, at all kinds of things that we shouldn't be shooting potatoes at. Man, we used to, and I would just sit and laugh.
I was a weapon maker when I was a kid, like to the point of I thought way too hard about it. I didn't like spitballs. What I did was I took a pin, like a to pin up clothing with the round head on it.
Like a safety pin?
Yeah, no, not a safety pin. What you pin up clothes with.
Oh, yeah, with the
little round white
I know what you
head.
mean. Yes,
like a push pin.
Yeah, push pin. There you go. Yeah.
I would then take a piece of old, this is horrible. I would take an old piece of shoelace and cut it in half, and then I'd stick that through there. Then I would get sewing thread, and I would tighten it real along there. And it fit right in the back of a big gun. So every kid that picked on me, I would just turn around and little blow dart right in the back of their head. I homemade blow darts.
Goodness, that is devious.
I will show everyone how to do it if you like, how to make your homemade weapons. Oh, I've done a bunch of them.
Yeah, obviously.
My wiffle ball bottle rocket rocket launcher was one of the best ones.
I can see that one a little bit. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm telling you, the potato gun was the most fun.
Potato gun? I've never taken that on.
Let me tell you.
Will you make me one, Tug?
I don't know how to, but my buddy used to
Call your family.
Yeah, my buddy Charles Kinsey was the one that
Charles, where are you?
He's passed on, but but
did he leave the secrets behind?
I don't know that he did. But I just remember him making. I'm telling you, when I mean like Gatling gun style, bazooka style.
Stop it.
He had one on wheels like cannon style.
Come on,
dude. He used to build the coolest stuff, and I was like, if we get caught with this, we're going to get in trouble.
Do you get in trouble?
I think.
Well, you can make it now.
I think you can make it, but it's what you do with it after you make it is what I was talking about, the getting in trouble part. Man, Lowe's out in Texas, do they make big potato guns out there?
It's not like it's a ghost gun,
right?
But I don't remember having like big potato guns or anything, or knowing anybody.
Do you know
who did
what that is?
Oh yeah,
okay.
It's made out of PVC, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's got a grill lighter, like the starter on there, and you would spray a bunch of Aquanet in there. Boom!
Come on, I need to do this.
Dude, it was the coolest.
Someone out there has to make them.
We shot them at things that we should not, that I will not admit to on the air or in real life. If you ask me off the air, I'm not going to admit to it. Because I am embarrassed.
Cows.
That was the least of the things that we shot those potatoes at.
Give me a hell
yeah! Dude, I'm telling you.
Sounds fun.
It was.
You were driving on I-75 in like 89, 90?
Yeah.
Apologies.
Sorry about that.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're not
just
that
hitting
wrong.
the side of a car when it hits. Oh my God.
You're not off. You're not that far off.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you,
No. That's not what I want to do.
It was awful.
I want to shoot, like, things that don't, like trees and big things. I don't want to hurt people or do any of that.
That's what logical people did.
Yeah. But I'm not logical either. I would definitely, if I saw, like, a cow walking down there, I'd probably be like, I'd think about it.
We were redneck versions of Beavis and Butthead.
I love it.
I'm telling you. I was just sitting back and laugh both. A combination of the two. I don't know. All of them. I was that little goofy kid, the little blonde-headed kid that didn't know how to do it. The one they were always mean to.
Yeah. That was you?
I just wanted to see what everybody was doing.
I just like the idea of like, oh, look, there's Jerry. He's coming along. He's supposed to see what y'all are doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me tell you. And they would just give me a hard time because they're like, now you gonna tell on us? You gonna sell us out? I was like, no, man, and I never did. But I'm telling you,
dummy, you're not gonna tell anyone, are you?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling. And funny enough, because of the reference of Beavis and Butthead, my sister sent me a picture that she had found of me wherever, and I was probably about 15 or 16, and I looked just like Butthead. I was like, good Lord, I was one unattractive young man.
Yeah.
And it had the teeth.
Oh, no.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
I didn't have braces, but I mean,
you were like The Rock in that movie with Kevin Hart where like they go back to school.
Oh yeah, and he's
like,
super. Oh yeah, he's got like the weird retainer in.
Yeah.
He's really large.
And
yeah.
I had a retainer too.
Funny afro.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. I was one unattractive teenage kid, without a doubt. But I didn't know it was fun, man. Charles Kinsey, God rest his soul. We had too much fun, and
Charles, we miss you already.
Chuck,
I don't even know you, and I miss you, Chuck.
He was all everybody.
You call him
loved
Potato
Charles.
Gun Chuck?
Yes, yeah, man. We called him everything except Charles.
Now I need to do this. I'm going to build a potato gun now.
Man, I'm telling you, it was. I'd never seen anything like it when he had first built it. It was like seeing, I don't know.
It'd be fun if you just took it to the range.
It's
like walk in,
piercing down on it,
like Da Vinci had put it together himself.
Close,
like the Da Vinci of potato guns.
It was like Da Vinci, but for rednecks. You know what I mean?
Redneck Da Vinci.
Yes, that's right. Charles Kinsey, the redneck Da Vinci.
Good for him.
He was awesome. Such a fun.
He made his own still.
Yes, he did. You're not far off, dude. He was always into something. And that's the thing. Like, he didn't pay attention at school at all, but he could do anything. He could take a car apart and put it back together. He would repair lawnmowers. You know, like for the he was like the nicest. He was always into something devious, but he had a good heart too. Like if his neighbor, it was an elderly one that her husband had passed on. If her lawnmower was broken, he'd get out there and fix it. He was that kind of dude.
Oh, then he definitely built a still. Like that those things take some engineering, don't they?
I'm telling you.
He's Redneck Tony Stark.
Oh, that's great.
Redneck
Tony Stark.
I don't know if it's going to make sense to him, but Redneck Tony Stark.
He's the one y'all told me about from the superhero movies that were able. Did he the one that built the suit?
That's funny.
The Iron Man suit.
Yes, is that right?
Yes.
There we go. Look, I don't know
also floating cars. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, everything. Weapons. All sorts of cool weapons.
Charles would make like he
the
was
redneck Tony Stark.
He was, dude. I'm telling you, Charles. God rest his. He was.
He is,
dude. Brilliant.
God bless you, sir.
I have such fond memories. One time, this is awful. One time
This is my favorite part of the show right now.
There was this wheelchair that we had found.
Was there a kid in it?
No.
Okay, good.
No, it was rag. It was ragtag. Looks like it had been put out to be taken away by the trash collectors or whatever. Charles had this huge, like, I bet the thing was 4 or 5 foot tall. It was like a stuffed gorilla.
Oh yeah,
it was big enough. Yeah, it was big enough. If you sat it in the seat, it would look like the gorilla sitting in the. And Charles thought it would be a funny idea to put this thing in the middle of Tibbsbridge Road.
He's right.
And let me tell you, it almost caused a 20-car pileup. I think there actually was an accident. And, I mean, just people swerving and getting and hitting it just because they see this random wheelchair in the middle of the street and they're trying to swerve around it because it's late. Of course, he did it at dusk.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember laughing so hard and then feeling so bad. And my mom was like, "Did you hear about what?" Oh, no, Mama, I never heard nothing. I didn't hear about that. No, I didn't.
Boy, I'm about to tell a story that's going to make me sound horrible, too. Yeah, so one of the things in New York, like shopping carts, they disappear because they're great ways to, a lot of places you just want to walk your groceries home, but you don't want to carry the bag, so you bring the grocery cart and you say you're going to bring it back, but you just leave it and someone else takes it. So it was easy to get hold of a grocery cart. We had a guy who directed traffic in the middle of the road, though he wasn't supposed to. As children, we were mean and nicknamed him Bubble Brains. But, really would find ways to find a good hill with that shopping cart, put a helmet on him, wrap him in like any kind of foam,
down the hill.
and let him go down the hill and see how long he could like hold up.
Not very long, I would imagine.
He would get about halfway down before those wheels started
wobbling,
and then it would slowly start turning right, and then
oh my God,
it all ends the same at that point.
Ow!
But in fairness, it was we still put a helmet on him though. Even though if he didn't have the helmet, I don't know if it would have made a difference for the poor guy. But I always bought him lunch. I always bought him things for
after you sent him
so
down.
I feel better. Yeah.
After you sent him down on his shopping cart.
Yeah.
I
would also
hospital bills too.
No, he didn't need a hospital. He would never go to the hospital anyway. But you know what I would do?
Was he dumb strong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what I would do? I would, again, because it was funny to me, I would get Band-Aids and like alcohol and pour them on his cuts and scrapes and laugh. And then he'd walk around with probably 600 Band-Aids, even in places he didn't need them.
That's right. Oh, my Lord. The thing.
God, I feel awful.
Los, did you ever do anything with stuff like
Sunday.
this, man? Because Rhino and I clearly did things that we're probably not as proud of. Did you ever get into that stuff, or no? You were pretty straight laced.
No. We tried to steal a bulldozer from a work site at a Kroger that was going in. We then had a time where we convinced our friend Wade Amon. He had one of those.
Who? Wade Amon?
It was Wade Amon.
Okay.
Or Wade Amon. We would convince him that we needed to take his dad's SUV and go jump it on these hills. And one night after a football game, we did it, and it broke the back axle.
Oh, God.
And so Wade's like crying, like, but Dad's going to kill me. And we're like, we got to go, Wade. We'll see you.
Adios, buddy.
There was a lot of
here, dude.
There was a lot of stuff like that. We used to, and this is the worst part about it, we used to
gets better.
Steal Halloween decorations right when like the blow-ups were just now starting.
Oh, yeah.
And we would go over to our friend Brad Delaney's yard, and we'd bring the power cords, and we'd plug everything in. So we'd have like 20 blow-ups in his yard.
And none of them were his.
None of them were his. His family would see it in the morning and be like, "These sons of bees." So we did a lot of stupid pranks.
Dude, isn't that the greatest though? Like the memories of growing up and the crazy stuff that you did that you should have gotten in trouble for, and then sometimes you did things and you got in more trouble than you actually should have gotten in, so it all kind of balanced itself out. Great memories, man.
My favorite lie that I ever told my mom,
okay, here we go.
which she reminds me of all the time. It's like the one lie I really told was I was throwing snowballs, happened to be a street in front of me. I was in the woods, so of course I hit a few cars. So when my mom asked me, were you out there throwing snowballs at cars? I said, well, no, technically I was throwing them over, but I have a horrible arm.
Okay, well,
that was my lie and excuse.
I bet she didn't fall for that.
Oh, she didn't fall for it. My butt got bit.
That's exactly right. Oh, man.
Or beat. My mom did not bite my butt.
Growing up in New York, here in Georgia, and in Texas, that's the way the show rolls. Rhino, born and raised in New York. I'm born and raised here in Georgia. Los, born and raised in Texas, man. And we all found ourselves in the same mischief.
It was always fun to find that one kid who would do anything, though.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Like, there's the one kid who I was like, hey, let's see how far you can run before I can light this Roman candle and hit you with them.
That's right.
Like, he was like, okay.
Yeah, we had a kid named Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie
and we'd like come up with these great ideas like, okay, if you wear this starter jacket, which is real thick, like it'll protect you from getting hit. But then when the fireball gets inside that big down jacket, boy, that doesn't do any good for you.
Just melt it right down.
Yeah.
Got a pair of tickets to Shamrocks and Hops Saturday the 16th. Is that, I guess, this Saturday? At 2 p.m., Wild Haven, West End Brewery and Gardens. And it benefits the Atlanta Professional Firefighters Foundation Health and Wellness Fund. Shamrocks and Hops is a fun afternoon. Whole family can be there. Live music from Mixtape 80s Tribute Band. There's so much to do. So if you'd like to go, then call us up, 404-741-1230. We'll take caller number 3, 404-741-1230 if you want to go to Shamrocks and Hops on the 16th at Wild Haven West End Brewery and Garden.
Are the firefighters allowed to support Trump at all, or are they going to get fired if they yell Trump?
Probably get hollered at.
Yeah,
yes, probably so.
I came around on that. Like,
well, but
I have a real hard time.
You're not wrong. I just.
But I think, look, all I'm saying is come forward and take credit for it, because I think it's important that you do, and let us fight for you, because the reality of it is they should get a write-up in their file, maybe. That's the decorum thing. If they get fired, if they get removed, if they get demoted, if they get anything else, I think it's too far. This is a decorum issue where they were in a church, they were brought in. But why are you bringing a political leader in and not allowing a political retribution for that person who is weaponizing? If you're a firefighter, you don't feel supported in New York, you should have the right to be able to say it. I understand the department has rules. There should be a write-up put in their file, and that's it. Be done. But you know what? At this point, the way they're acting, don't come forward. I want you to come forward because I want to celebrate you.
Right. Which is opposite of what they want you to come forward for. I struggle with it because of the fact that those guys work their tails off, and their freedom of speech doesn't end because she gets her feelings hurt for being an idiot.
Rules are not laws.
Right.
Mandatory does not mean law. And so when you have this form of government go back after you because I don't like how you were booing, well, I'm sorry, my First Amendment rights don't just end because I'm sitting here off duty or not. sorry, if we want to play it out here, we can push this to court. It all ends the same way.
Yeah, it's going to end the same way. I mean, they have the right to their freedom of speech and their expression, and I loved every minute of it. Of course, I celebrated it, and of course, I celebrate our firefighters. That's completely different than what the left does. Remember, this is an attorney general who also allows criminals to get out, including arsonists, including people who, when the EMTs show up, when these people who are now becoming firefighters and people who are part of the fire department have to show up to these scenes that are horrible, whether it's a child being killed or as EMTs, it's because of her. It's because of their policy. Her, and also, of course, Alvin Bragg, Fat Alvin, as we like to call him.
Yeah, because what got me to think about it last night was hey, when you were in the Navy, would you have done this? And the answer would have been no. In the moment, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Even though I would have been thinking about it, and I thought that was a good example. But then now, fast forward to now, and I don't know that I would be quite as reserved as I was then, because I felt like the structure was there that demanded respect and was owed respect. And I don't think that exists anymore with a weaponized DOJ and all the things that they're doing to tear down the fabric of this country. I think I would have been loud. I think I would like to think I would do that now if I were in the Navy. I would have pushed back.
I would have been one of those firefighters, no doubt in my mind. But that's who I am. That's who I've always been. And I do get in trouble, or have gotten in trouble, especially in school and stuff, for speaking out against things that I thought the teachers were wrong about. I think I would have been one of these firefighters. Again, I'm trying to be respectful. I would try to be respectful. But at that time, like, I would get caught up in the fervor of 6 other people doing it. And like you, I know, like with the Navy, I don't know if I'd be able to stand by the same way, especially now with what they're doing.
Holy cow, knowing that they're tearing every shred of dignity out of our military and our DOJ.
And I saw how upset you were with the guy, the Gold Star father, and I loved your passion behind it, and that's how I can see you acting when we see these things.
Since the founding of this country, if you, as a patriot, choose to stand up and say this is tyrannical, this is wrong, that is your responsibility. That is protected from the very formation of this country, from the very founded, that it is our responsibility to point out when government has gotten too big, gotten too tyrannical, and is no longer executing the rule of law and your rights as a person born from God. That at that point, you can say, this is wrong, and I should be standing up against it.
Yeah, I have to be
That's what they
enough.
did.
Yeah, and they did. And can you imagine, and I know we don't do this often, but you can't help but look at it. If it had been Joe Biden, pro-Joe Biden, would they be hunting these people down?
Oh, no.
Dude, no. They would be like, this is the great. Look how they're sharing their freedom of speech.
Let me ask you, if they were chanting, take his money, take his money.
She would have
never heard.
She would have had a smile from ear to ear. She would have had her hands in the air like Rocky's statue.
Sorry, steal his money. That's what they could have said.
Goodness gracious. Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. We'll knock out the headlines when we come back. And they have 8 months to fuel the Never Trump fire. Believe me, they've got the Bic ready to light it up. Next on Extra 106.3, Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10. Then the Glenn Beck program starts at 10. Right on the nose here on Extra 106.3. The 9 o'clock hour, trying to scoot us backwards, is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution. If you need anything done to the outside of your home, they can get it done, and they will not make you wait. SouthernExteriors.co. SouthernExteriors.co.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Jordan B. Peterson, We Who Wrestle with God Tour.
If you say the truth and nothing else, you'll have an immense adventure as a consequence. You won't know what's going to happen to you, But the truth will reveal the world the way it's intended to be revealed, and the consequence for you will be that you'll have the adventure of your life.
Jordan B. Peterson, live this Friday at State Farm Arena. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
What are your plans for your business this year? Hey, it's Tug. Do you want to expand and grow? Aren't you exhausted by going to lenders, building a relationship, and a week later, you got a new person to deal with? You have to start all over again? You don't have that with First Liberty Building and Loan. The Frost family has been helping businesses grow since the 90s, and they want to know you. Unlike big banks, they want to partner with you. The Frost family knows the patterns. They know the ebbs and flows. They know business. Get to know them at firstlibertyga.com. Building a building, buying a franchise, expanding. Reach out to them. Spend 10 minutes with them. See if you're a fit for them and if they're a fit for you. You do that at firstlibertyga.com. And by the way, if you're a young banker and want to work with a team that is faith-friendly and has a culture of excellence, First Liberty might be a good match. Reach out to them today. First Liberty Building and Loan. firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. or find it online at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
It took 100 years, but finally there's a conservative voice you can trust. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Doug, Rhino and Front Office Lowe's on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
We're bullies. We're bullies. I've realized now we're the bullies.
Last segment, we had talked about how we got into mischief as kids, and Lowe's told us this great story off the air about a prank that was pulled.
It's a friend of mine who's since passed, this guy Greg Southwell, one of the funniest dudes around, and we're looking for one extra player for basketball that day, neighborhood basketball. We call our friend Vince Yang, and Vince's mom picks up the phone, and it was like Greg's face changed. He's like, speak to Vince. Well, Vince's in the shower. And he immediately kicks into, hold on a second, Vince and I both worked at Kroger down the street. We were both fired by the same manager, okay?
Yeah.
So he decides to say, Well, this is Jeff, the manager over at Kroger, and I need Vince back today, and I'm going to pay him double. Like, I need him up here right now. And his mom's like, okay, no problem. I'll get him right back over to you.
Yes, sir.
And so he hangs up the phone, and we're all like, oh, man, Vince is going to go over to Kroger. Like, what's going to happen? He's like, hold on a second. He calls up the Kroger, because, again, he used to work there. And speak to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, this is Vince. I'm coming over there, and I'm going to work. And you're going to pay me double. I'm going to work circles around everybody. You're going to pay me double. And then, the manager's telling him, like, you can't come up here, Vince. You were fired. Yeah. This supermarket was like a mile from our house. We all drove up there and waited in the back of the parking lot to watch Vince get out of his car in his Kroger gear. And the manager's up front with like security, and they're like, you can't come in here. And Vince is yelling at him, what are you talking about? You called me to come up here. The manager's yelling in the back, you came in, you said you're going to work circles around us. I don't know what you're talking about. It's one of those great childhood pranks that I will always remember.
Dude, that's quality.
It was awesome.
This is so quality.
We got time for one more?
Might as well.
All right. I'm embarrassed to say I was over 40 years old when I did this one.
Sort of a childhood prank.
Sort of a childhood prank. So when I had the restaurant, we had this young man. His name was Austin. Wonderful boy. Worked very, very hard. And he had a brand new green Mustang, probably about 6 months old, that his parents were paying for him so that he would go to school and do his thing.
But he probably had to work a little bit. Is this the reason he's working?
Yeah. He received a phone call one day from someone from ABC Repossession and Towing that no payments had been done. He starts freaking out because he doesn't pay them. So I said, listen, the best thing for you to do is just to keep the car parked out front. It'll save a lot of trouble. We're just going to come get it. And he's like, no. And so he drives around to the restaurant and everything. He calls his parents who were on vacation. They don't understand why none of the payments have gone through. They abruptly leave their vacation to come home. To take care of the problem. This might be the first time that I admit that I was my friend Adam Andy was the ABC Towing.
I can't believe that you didn't tell them before you came all the way home from vacation.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh my God, dude!
I didn't know they were. Well, in fairness, I had no idea he called them and they came home until after he figured it out.
Okay, got it. That makes
he
me
realized
feel
too.
Very slightly. That makes me feel somewhat better.
Yeah.
But good Lord,
if I would have known they were leaving for vacation, I probably would have blown it then.
Ooh, yes. Oh my gosh.
I still don't feel bad about it. It was one of the funniest things. Seeing him scramble to, where can I hide the cars? Like, you can hide it in my house. You can hide it over here.
Put it in this garage.
Put it over here. Yeah.
We have these keys.
Yeah.
The mischief that people get into is unbelievable. 404-741-1230 if you can top it. Today is like one up. What is Tuesday? It would have been better if it Wednesday, but we'll go with one up Tuesday. But if you want
Tuesday
to share
tales.
Yes, it's tales from our childhood. Yes. Tuesday tales here on Xtra.
Tales from the creeps.
Let's knock out the headlines. They're brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution, based down in Jackson, Georgia. Got a big old complex down there. If you call them today, they will get you in right away. There's no long waits. And they can do windows, gutters, roofs. They do anything to do with the outside, the exterior of your home. SouthernExteriors.co, SouthernExteriors.co.
All right, here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Tuesday, March 12th. Former President Donald Trump needs 140 delegates to secure the GOP's nomination for president. The polls are open, and Georgia carries 59 delegates that will be decided today in the state's primary election. Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington State will also hold primary contests today. Biden, who is on the Democratic ballot today, needs 102 delegates to secure the nomination. There are 108 Democratic delegates up for grabs in the Peach State. Georgia voting locations will stay open until 7 p.m. Gwinnett County Police identified 4-year-old Abigail Hernandez as the young girl who was killed in the Mall of Georgia parking lot this past weekend. The 4-year-old was leaving Dick's Sporting Goods with her father and 7-year-old sister when an 18-year-old driver hit the family in the parking lot. Abigail was rushed to Scottish Rite Children's Hospital, where she died from her injuries. Abby's dad and sister also suffered minor injuries in the accident. And in sports, the Atlanta Falcons Falcons have made a decision on their starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins, a top free agent, signed a 4-year deal with the Falcons. The veteran quarterback signed a deal worth $180 million with $100 million guaranteed. Cousins ruptured his Achilles in October after 9 months of rehabilitation, though. He should be ready for the start of training camp in August.
Good news for the Falcons. It is Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. 8 months, Los, is what they have to pour gasoline all over the never Trump fire.
I call this the Boortz dad theory, and the reason it's a combo there. So there is people like our friend Neal Boortz, where he's gonna hold his nose, but he doesn't like Donald Trump. Okay, so that's just how that goes. Then there's my dad, who is like hardcore. I don't know how this happened, but he went like full CNN guy like several years ago.
Poor fellow.
And so everything about it's so anti-Donald Trump that the only thing they can do is motivate him to get to the polls. Now, that's pretty iffy because if you were to ask him, hey, what's Biden accomplished? His only accomplishment is he's not Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. But that's enough.
But maybe not even for him.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because for my Aunt Peg, it's enough.
Maybe for your Aunt Peg.
Yeah.
My dad's kind of like you got to push him to get there at this point. Because what's exciting him? And so they have 8 months to try and drive this level of excitement. I call it Boortz dad theory because Boortz, I don't like Donald Trump, but I'm going to vote for it. My dad, I don't like Donald Trump, but I don't know if I have enough energy to go vote for Joe Biden.
Right.
And that's what they got to change.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing that a lot because people I talk to who, they know what I do. Do you really like Trump? Like, yeah, I do. I love his policy. I think his policy is great. Well, yeah. Well, so would you vote for him based on policy? Well, no, I'm not going to vote for either one of them. I don't like either one of them. Well, hold on. You like what's wrong? Why won't you vote for either? Well, I don't like the direction of the country. Well, Donald Trump's policies, though, like they will not go back from that. They never will. They will continue. They're either going to sit out, and I think a lot of people are going to sit out. We're seeing it right here in Georgia, too. People are not energized. The Democrat Party is not getting the mail-in ballots, the absentee ballots that they did in 2020. They're not coming out for them.
I hope that is the case. I feel like we need to do a don't go vote rally. Like usually it's, hey, get everybody to go have a
vote for none of the above.
Yes, right. No, but we just need to rally the Democrats to stay at home, like Los is talking about. Why don't y'all just stay at home?
Stay home.
Yeah, we're going to take care of this. Y'all stay at home. I don't think they'll like it, but we'll do it anyway, or we should.
I figured this out, and I made the joke last night. Now, keep in mind, my dad I poured it a little heavy last night, so I go to work on the show, and I start drunks.
Don't forget to invite the rest of us.
Right.
So he's over having some bourbon, bourbon and Coke and everything, and so I go to start working on the show, and I'm sending emails over to you guys and sending notes, and I start hearing my dad ranting and raving about Trump, not in a mean way, but it was more long. Okay, so he decided to play the lottery last night.
Okay.
And so whenever you play the lottery, you then joke about what you're going to do about the money.
Yeah, sure.
And he's trying to run it by my wife that the reason why he's not going to give her any money is because he's concerned that she's going to vote for Donald Trump. And my wife's just like, no, I'm not. Like, no. Do you not know?
Surely she's coming around.
Oh, never.
Okay.
But she'll sit at home.
Okay, which is good enough at this point. It's good enough.
So I then went to my dad and I said, understand this, Dad. You already took the Trump shot in exchange for like a donut or like a beer.
Or a $5 gift card.
Or a $5 gift card. I was like, so you're more dedicated than a lot of people, including myself, clearly. And now he kind of, and then the pretzel hits him of like, yeah, I did, didn't I? I'm like, yeah, you did. So if we offer like a beer or a $5 gift card or even a donut, Rhino, maybe we can keep them from going to the polls because it worked to get them to put an experimental vaccine from the government in their arm.
Yeah, I think it would be easy, $40, $20, whatever, just or offer them free vaccines if they don't vote.
A donut's like 20 cents.
Dude,
maybe $1.
That is our campaign. That's our campaign. We need to do a don't go vote Democrats or Democrat don't go vote. We need to do that. Needs to be. Instead of us encouraging people to go vote, let's encourage the Democrats not to. Let that be our promotional campaign. I think it's brilliant.
All I have to do is say, stay home for trans. And won't they stay home for that? Do I even need to buy a donut?
Oh, yeah. Stay home.
I
stay safe.
Whatever it takes. Like,
stay home for Hamas.
Hey, any of it.
There we go.
That's it.
And it's an alliteration on top of that.
It's really about just grabbing the hive mind and just changing the settings a little bit.
Just enough.
Just be like, if you really care, you won't even take part in this process.
That's right, because
Hamas.
Joe does not support you.
Yeah.
He is on their other people's side, not your side.
The fentanyl crisis from the border caused George Floyd's death. Stay home.
Yeah.
Things like that will use their own stuff against them.
I think it's a good idea. I think we could, even if we did it as a gag, it would be really, really funny to have a whole campaign about don't go vote Democrat.
See if we could get the station thrown out of the battery and just walk around with signs.
Yes.
It's the pretzel moment. It's the same one where we saw the meme on Twitter about stop Donald Trump, call for legal ID for voting.
Yeah.
You're like, but hold on a second. If I do that, then I stop Donald Trump. Yes, that is correct, sir.
right.
If you do this, you will stop him.
100%.
Biden cost Abrams the governorship. Don't vote.
That's all.
He cost us this state.
It would be so much fun to do that because it's so opposite of what anybody says. Remember, it's always get out and do your public duty, your civic duty. This is your responsibility. You've got to be the if we tell them not to.
Yeah. We got to play their game. We got to pretend to be them, though.
We could have a ball with
I
this.
could see myself with a sign that said stop Trump, call for legal ID at voting booth.
Absolutely, man.
And then, can I get one of those, the Halloween costumes that they have like the little fan and blow up with air? Can I get like a Stacey Abrams one and like follow him around? That'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Just like boop, 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 boop.
I think we have like a witch one at our house somewhere, like down in the basement. I mean, I don't know if. It would blow up big. Yeah. At least that part would be covered.
If I painted like a blue dress, I think people would realize, like, oh, okay, the blue, the Democrat, it looks like her.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Witchy.
I think any way it goes, it's a good idea, and I think
I
it'd
love
be
this idea.
So much fun. But truly though, Lowe's is 100% right. I mean, you have 96% of the news media who identifies as Democrat.
Yeah.
They are going to push this and try to keep the fire lit and fan the flames of Donald Trump is going to. I mean, we had, what was it? Robert De Niro was on with Bill Maher.
Yeah.
And remember, he's in there because he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He's fanning the flames. Matter of fact, do you have that? Let's play it. This is him talking about it.
Nothing at all. Nothing redeemable in him. And we have to, and whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there. Somebody, for some reason, it can't be. It cannot be. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
I did from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I said from the very beginning, this guy is never going to concede power, and he still hasn't.
No.
He still hasn't.
He's never going to concede power.
He's
what
president,
power
so he's
does
still
he
president?
have?
He's still president.
I'm assuming so. But the point is that Robert De Niro is doing nothing but exactly what Los just said. He was like, how do we fan the flames? How do I get people engaged? How do I strike an emotional chord so they'll actually listen to me and then rush out instead of being like Los's dad where he's like, I just don't know if I'm going to vote at all. Because if they do that, they know it's a landslide victory for Trump. So we have to fan those flames that Los was just talking about.
I think that, a good idea for De Niro is take what we're saying now, too, and do the same exact thing. Say, hey, don't go vote for Trump because he wants you to not be able to cut your children's, stuff off. Or, maybe he should go that route. Like, really do this is a ridiculous dictatorship idea. The thing that they keep passing, that he will not give up power. The man is a citizen. The only power is being used against him, not for
the power
him.
Of the state, anyway.
If he had power and never relinquished it, would he be facing 91 indictments? No, he'd use his power to stop him, you moron.
Can I buy that shirt?
Yes, of course you can.
What is that shirt? Let me see.
The Merry 4th of St. Patrick's Day.
I just couldn't decide between that or the ice cream one, that if I'm going to walk around the Battery with a sign, I also have to have the, wait a minute, this has to fit a certain way.
Yeah, right. And it looks, that's a nice one there.
Well, can I dress like a leprechaun and be your friend? Because I actually think I'd fit it. People would really believe I was a leprechaun. I'm 5'4".
I got the little
man.
pot of gold.
Yeah.
I can hear it now.
I like the Joe Biden with ice cream, and it just says the big guy, 10% goes to him.
That one's good. I think that the Happy 4th of St. Patrick's Day better. Yeah, that one's better for sure. We'll wrap up the show next on Xtra 106.3. Tim Tebow is still incredible, and it has nothing to do with anything he's ever done on the football field. Next on Extra 106.3, Tug, Rhino in front office, Los until 10.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
In fact, of all the things that happened for the Afghanistan withdrawal, of all the things that happened, the only arrest or citation has been the father of one of the Marines killed because of Joe Scumface.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
March is the month of marriage, and we're celebrating at Solomon Brothers Jewelers with our annual Marry Me March event. Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers, and we are here to help couples tie the knot this month with engagement rings and wedding bands at this year's best prices. All this month, we are offering savings of up to 60% off rings and wedding bands from our top designs like halos, the hidden halo, single shared prong, double shared prong, and every design you can imagine in our store. Choose from our selection of hundreds of beautiful rings in every budget, or hand design the ring of their dreams. Remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So don't miss our Marry Me March event going on all this month and save up to 60% off engagement rings and wedding bands. Visit us today in any of our 3 showrooms on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, and now in Peachtree City. Or shop online at SolomonBrothers.com or on Instagram at Solomon Brothers.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Extra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
Introducing Sonder Health Plans, your trusted local partner for Medicare Advantage in Georgia. Only in Georgia. With Sonder, you'll get comprehensive coverage that's tailored to your needs. They offer $0 primary care visits, $0 premiums, and access to a wide network of Georgia healthcare providers. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com now to learn more about their value-based care that won't break the bank. Or call 888-428-4440. Sonder Health Plans, your doctors, your neighbors, your friends.
Don't you love an extra $100 in your pocket? Have a TurboTax expert file your taxes for you by March 31st to get $100 back instantly. Because no matter what moves you made last year, TurboTax makes them count. That means getting $100 back and 100% accurate taxes. Only from Intuit TurboTax. Must file by 3/31. Credit only applicable to federal filing fees with TurboTax full service. Offer can be modified or terminated at any time.
Hey fans, Xander from Atlanta Painting Company here, and with spring on the horizon, the home team won't be the only ones painting corners in Atlanta. This spring, save 10% off all exterior projects and get a free color consultation. We understand how valuable your home is, so protect your investment with our industry-leading warranty and unmatched customer service. Don't just take our word for it. We have over 900 Google reviews telling you why we are the painters you can trust. Ready to get started? Visit us online at atlantapaintingcompany.com to schedule your free home consultation. The Atlanta Painting Company, painters you can trust.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your system running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. So turn to Atlanta's Carrier experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. With Central, you get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Plus, you know what's going to be here before you know it? The heat. It's allergy season, and Central Heating and Air can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air is one of the few second-generation, locally owned and operated HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and they've serviced over 100,000 customers right here in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com. That's centralheat.com.
Keep up with all of our shows and the latest headlines by following Extra 106.3 on Instagram, X, Facebook, Truth Social, and all your social media platforms. Plus exclusive giveaways and more. So follow now at XTRA 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. Before we get to Tim Tebow, the fact that he's even better off the field than he ever was on, and he was one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. I want y'all to know that there is a brewery that is using wastewater to create beer. And I'm not sure, I'm not a beer drinker, so I'm not going to drink it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it just seems weird that you would create beer made with recycled wastewater. This is a representative of the brewery talking about this new, soon-to-be-released beer called Renew Brew.
It represents innovation, creativity, investment in infrastructure. It represents the hard work of staff.
Get out of here.
I just
Get
looked
out of
up,
here. Wait, wastewater?
I just looked up what is wastewater. And this is from the EPA.
Yeah.
Municipal wastewater, industry process and cooling water, stormwater, agricultural runoff, water produced from natural resources, resource extraction activities. All of that sounds like code to me for really, really bad water.
Remember the beer group or Schlitz beer? Take the L away. That's what this beer should be called because that's what it sounds like. Wastewater, disgusting. There's no chance whatsoever. I will quit drinking beer if that's the last beer that's available. I would drink Bud Light, with Dylan Mulvaney before I'd actually drink that beer.
That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
Even when we think about our friend Seth with Ultra Right.
Yeah.
One of the core elements of beer is what kind of water are we using?
Yeah.
Obviously there's other elements, but you're trying to create a really nice product. And if you're telling me you're using recycled product in it, I'm going to say that it's not going to feel or have the taste and smell of other product.
But how many people see this and like, oh, look, they're recycling.
Of course.
I'm on board with this. Yes, I'll drink this because they're doing what's great for the earth.
Yeah.
And just like EV, you ain't doing nothing for the earth.
Remember the coffee company out in San Francisco's like, pay whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
It's unfair.
That worked out so well.
How'd that work out?
They're closed.
Same thing. They'll get a little bump from the media. People will come out, and when it tastes like Schlitz without the L, then guess what? That'll stop working, and they'll go out of business as soon as possible. This is a horrible idea, but again, virtue signaling, get on people's heartstrings. We're making this with crap water.
Grains, hop, yeast, water. Okay, if any one of these is a element that you're telling me is recycled or is rotted or anything, well, we're using leftover grains in order to do it. Sorry, not interested in it. Part of the reason why we like Ultra Right beer is because it actually tastes good.
Yes, very good.
According to the EPA, uses for recycled water, indoor plumbing.
Oh, wow, that's nice, yeah.
And there's a whole list, but that's the one that stood out to me. Indoor plumbing, they're saying recycled water you could use for indoor plumbing.
Right.
And then, irrigation.
Dogs love drinking out of my toilet, so I guess that's good.
Exactly. But that's the whole point, man. Indoor uses such as toilet flushing. And then processed water for power plants, refineries, mills, and factories, irrigation. None of this lists says anything about ingestion.
Right.
I couldn't help but notice.
None of it says great for drinking?
Nope.
Drinking water?
I mean,
strangely enough, no, Rhino, it doesn't.
There's some that is used for it, but we shy away from such things because you realize you're having something that's been chemically treated for fecal matter.
It's like or throwing hops in a puddle.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
I thought I would share that with you just as we close the show because it's right down the wheelhouse of people who are just led to believe that they're doing it's virtuous.
Keep your crappy beer to yourself.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, Tim Tebow, incredible guy, Rhino. He was unbelievable. He was a guy you hated to see line up against your team because you knew he was going to do something marvelous, and he always did. And that is secondary to the man he is off the football field.
I'm glad he never moved to tight end in the NFL because I think he'd been a great tight end, and he refused that because of that decision. He's been able to get out and do things with the Tim Tebow Foundation that other people aren't willing to do. And of course, we know that he was the focus of a Super Bowl commercial when he was talking about his mother had a choice for abortion. Yeah. I mean, this man has done nothing but good things. I love Tim Tebow, obviously, because I am a Gator and for what he did for that program. But off the field, this man is one of the greatest human beings that I've ever come across. We know about his missions. We know about his things. Well, now the newest thing is to work on helping child trafficking and exploitation in the United States and around the world. So he has already sat in front of Congress. He's already testified. But the foundation and other agencies are now working, and what he calls the worst evil in the world. They found, I want to give you this number because this was very upsetting to me. 20,000 boys and girls are not identified yet. They don't know where they are, who they are, whatever. Most of them, 4.3% of them, okay, let me say this. 65% of them are under the age of 12.
Meaning the people being trafficked.
Being trafficked. Right. 4.3%. That's 2,100 kids. 2,100 kids are infants that are being trafficked.
And I bet that's the only number that they could get that has been published, you know what I mean? And I guarantee those numbers are skewed because of the stuff that we have no idea, and the kids that we have the people we have no idea that are coming and going and participating in nonsense like this.
We talked about the dangers and the poisons at our southern border, and you pick which one is the worst to you. If you've lost somebody to fentanyl, that's probably going to be it. If you've been addicted to it or had problems with it, it's probably going to be it. I just think that at a base core level, the most evil thing is child sex work, child sex trafficking in terms of what's going on there. And so for him to be involved in it, to lend his name to exposing this sort of stuff that's going on around the world.
I love the guy,
Good for Tim Tebow.
I love the dude.
Good for him.
There is nobody that I feel like I could tell my kid to look up to greater than Tim Tebow. You know what I mean? As a kid that loves sports and loves athletics, my point would be, don't even look at that. Like, that doesn't even have to hit your radar screen about how terrific this dude is. And the fact that he lives his faith, he lives his convictions. There's no virtue signaling from Tim Tebow at all.
This is not about, he's not endorsing candidates. He's not talking about anything. What he said was, he didn't even say this. Let me say it for him. Tim Tebow and his foundation worked with Homeland Security investigations on an operation called Operation Renewed Hope. They were a big part of this. This was a 3-week surge that they did into child abuse in 2023. The foundation located 311 of these identifications, previously unknown victims, and found 14 positive contacts, confirmed the rescue of even more victims from active abuse, things that were actually going on. The government and everyone else says this was one of the most successful operations of its kind, and Team Tebow and his foundation are behind this. What a great man. What a great fight. And hopefully this will bring attention to it, unlike what the Democrats and the left tried to do to Sound of Freedom when it was exposed. Yeah. Tim Tebow's a great voice in this fight.
TimTebowFoundation.org is the website. We need to try to get them all, man. That's something. Let's see if we can figure out how to do it.
I'm sure we can get them.
I mean, with the connection on the sports side, I'm sure there's
always a connection.
Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody. We got to, because I would love to have him on. He's just a terrific dude.
You reach out to the organization and understanding that Tim Tebow does have a sports end to what he does. SEC Network, here's this, but then to also get into passion projects as well. You can tend to find a way, like, for instance, Bo Jackson does Bo Bikes Bama every single year as a huge fundraiser for stuff that he's interested in. So, he's willing to come on your show and talk about sports and football and this. But he also talks about passion for other things he's involved in.
Yeah, bigger purpose. If you go to TimTebowFoundation.org, right here on the homepage, our heart is to love Jesus and to love people. We are called to fight for the world's most vulnerable people through 4 main areas of focus: anti-human trafficking, child exploitation, orphan care and prevention, profound medical needs, and the special needs ministry. And I know plenty of people who have had their kids go to the prom that they do. The special needs prom was
so beautiful,
so incredible. You've never seen joy like this if you've not seen it.
I'm glad he was a Gator.
Yeah, he is a great man. He is probably the greatest Gator of all time, man.
Now, does this get rid of Corinne Brown for me? Do I not have to deal with her anymore?
Go Gator.
Go Gator.
Go Gator. That'll do it for us. We're going to leave it here and turn this thing over to the Glenn Beck program. After Beck is done at noon, the biggest show in all of conservative media, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. And then the local afternoon show with the one and only Kimmer Peterson. Of course, you got Flounder in there. You got everybody. I mean, the whole show is incredible. Make sure that you listen to us throughout the day for the best in conservative discussion. For Rhino, for Front Office Los and Board Op Joe, my name is Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
The Kimmer Show is only live on Xtra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
And that hideous hater scuzzbag, Letitia James, the Attorney General, was there. And the firemen started booing her and shouting Trump, 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 stuff like that.